Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler is here. You know what's weird and sad is the Halloween dummy that you and I put in James Colbert's old Mustang.
Oh, yeah. What's the chances he still has that?
The Mustang, he still has it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
It was Spiderweb. He doesn't.
No, I think he drives it around.
Mustang around
Does he-
Geneva quite a bit?
Did he build it?
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but
He's dead?
No,
Oh my God.
no. He just looks it. He didn't deserve that. The thing that's weird about it is, and I do this, is like I did this with a motorcycle one time. You buy the motorcycle and you're like, I'm gonna make this hot rod motorcycle. I'm gonna make this a chopper, right?
Yeah.
What it stays is just a broken down motorcycle.
Yep.
Now, Jimmy, though, I hats off to him because his runs and it runs well. It's just I don't think he might be doing some of the work that he was dreaming about, but I stand behind what he's doing right now because he's lengthening his dream, and I support that.
Never tell the world your goals.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
That's true. EJ did it with weight loss, and look up where that went.
yeah.
But I think we can all
you're gonna
identify
look
with that
foolish.
one, right? We all know what it feels like to come in here and be like, you know what? I'm changing my life. We've all done. Gotta change it.
Yep.
Yeah. I've even
I'm the king
fallen
of
into that.
yeah.
I tell you guys, I'm bringing my lunch every day now. Why did I even say that?
We're
I don't
all-
know.
I know I'm going to fail. Just say nothing.
We are more alike than we are different. Like you do not look like one of us to come in here and you know what? I'm making some change. Like you'll come in here and like turkey sandwiches for life, and I'll be like, "There's no way." And then you don't even eat the one you brought.
Well, I mean, I would if I could remember to bring.
Didn't your wife make you slop 2 days ago and you forgot it?
Yeah, still in the refrigerator. Forgot it today.
How does Butler forget everything we ask him to do, but he always remembers his
I'm
slop?
sure his wife hands it to him as he walks out the door.
She hands him
like,
the
leave
slop
it to Beaver.
and as she kisses him, she places the glass
Have a great day.
slop bowl into
You're
his.
right. How does Butler?
He'll remember that, but he'll
Lunch,
forget.
she
She must put it in
vitamins.
his bag or
Yeah.
something because she doesn't leave it in the fridge and he remembers to take it. No
I
way.
gotta get my
No,
slop.
because he's left his slop here before.
Yes, he has.
He also leaves his wallet here every time.
Every
His phone,
day.
everything. Like
Every
he'll
day.
walk out and then I'm like,
Sometimes he eats his wallet and leaves his slop here. It's weird.
let's talk Halloween decorations.
I got the bug, man. I got one up, and I did that move where I put one up, and because I put one up, the one that I put up is so severe. I'll use that as my adjective. It's so severe that I got to add more because it'd be like if I walked outside wearing a stovepipe like Abe Lincoln top hat, but with no pants on. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Gotta
Incomplete.
even it out a
yeah,
little bit.
thank you. I
Yeah.
got to even it out. It's not working for me. It's unbalanced. I like symmetry, and I have a scarecrow with light up eyes who laughs like a maniac that is scaring everyone in my neighborhood, and we love it.
So let's talk what the norm is now, because now there's even Halloween lights that people put up. Apparently,
I don't support
Yeah,
Halloween
I got
lights.
some of those.
I don't support those, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Sam.
That's
Now,
fine.
do you put them up like Christmas lights? Like,
Yes.
do you border your roof with orange?
Right now, they are crisscrossed under our front porch, but we are thinking about changing it so that we do the out perimeter of the porch and then the big fiddle leaf fig in the front like a Christmas tree.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
With orange,
You know what?
though,
You
right?
got
It's
me-
purple, white, and orange.
You got me back in with Fiddly Fig.
Thank you.
So purple is okay, white, orange.
Yeah.
Ooh, where'd you find purple? That sounds
They're
nice.
all together, so it's like purple,
Green?
white, orange, purple,
Could
white,
you
orange.
use green or
Target, by the way.
I think you
Christmas?
could use green goes witch too. I feel like.
Green and purple, Beetlejuice.
Wait, all
Yeah,
three
yeah.
colors in one strand? These
Yes.
are amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I support these
Green,
then.
purple.
They
I
look great.
I spoke too soon.
So
Snatch me a few of those. Do my
They're
pillars.
sold out at this Target. I
Yeah,
looked
you
the
can't
other
find
day.
nothing.
I know.
Everything Halloween is sold out. I'm surprised
Depleted.
if I had not gone early,
People are going hard on Halloween this year.
if I weren't crazy, had I not gone early because I'm crazy and I was just trying to do something fun,
yeah,
I wouldn't have gotten that stand up that I got. That's a fact.
because it'd be sold out.
They're all
Yeah.
sold out.
Yeah.
Even the
Everything's
one
selling
that
out.
I wasn't allowed to buy that's called Harvester of Souls that you just Google
yeah.
Harvester of Souls Spirit Halloween, watch the video. You'll probably like it or you'll think it's super scary. Those are all sold out.
So, you know what I don't see too often is the kid-like Halloween, like basically the Mickey Mouse, the very toddler.
Lowe's has
I got that.
Yeah, okay. So you got
2 doors down.
Okay.
2 doors down, it's
The
cute.
non-scary.
2 doors down, it's cute.
Mickey with a cape and vampire fangs.
It's not Mickey. I thought it was gonna.
They sell that at Lowe's.
Yeah,
by the
they
way.
do have Mickey. I love Mickey Vampire. I think
Yeah.
he's so cute. But it's a little girl witch that kind of like it's a stand up that's my body style, like but smaller, like smaller potato.
Yeah.
And it's an inflatable, and then a little ghost that's a little boy. But there's nothing at all scary about it. It's very
There's
American
tons
Halloween.
of little kid Halloween decorations.
Are you wanting something like the whimsical Santa Claus in the chimney and then the flap
No,
where his
I-
pants falls down and you see his butt? Or Santa in the Porta-John? That's a big one at Halloween. Or, excuse me, at Christmas.
Our tradition is, and we haven't done it maybe today, we go with Tommy and Max to Spirit Halloween, and they pick out one decoration to add.
I love it.
You
to
better
the
go sooner than
collection.
later.
I know.
October.
Well, I think you'll be okay, but if you don't do it today or tomorrow, I don't know,
That's what I'm
man.
saying.
This weekend's going to be it.
Because we got Zombo.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's what they call it.
Slightly racist.
It's no. It's a zombie that it's animatronic, but the batteries run out super fast because the motion sensor
It's
gets triggered.
batteries?
Yeah, it's batteries.
man.
Man, batteries? That's
and-
some bobo.
It just
Zombobo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the motion detector gets set off by rain. So when it rains,
That's a
it just
good-ass motion detector.
it moves the entire time.
That
and then
motion detector's better than my security system in my house.
Same.
My God.
Then we've got a pumpkin ghost that we hang underneath the staghorn.
I'm a fan of the pumpkin ghost. Pumpkin is the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of
Okay.
that.
And
That's a
That
classic,
is
by
a
the way.
classic.
And then
You
the
do
face.
not strike me as a pumpkin ghost man.
The kids just picked each year. They pick a new one or whatever.
Hey, can I
Man,
make a
your kids have got the
suggestion?
life.
Then we got Ghost on a zip line.
Can I make? I like Ghost on a Zip Line. That was a great Samuel L. Jackson movie. Can I make a suggestion for? Are you doing your Spiderweb?
Spiderweb? Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion? I saw this in my neighborhood. It is an addition to the Spiderweb I'd never seen before, and it's scary. And I will offer up our dummy. Follow me here.
Okay.
These people in my neighborhood took a dummy, and then they took that white webbing. They
they-
took the dummy and
okay.
they
Oh,
wrapped.
yeah.
Dude, and they hung it by its legs, and it looks like the spider
Yes.
took the guy and killed him.
That's
It's
great.
awesome.
That's good.
It is awesome. It's right down here if you want to see what they did. They wrapped him in the spider web. Like, you got to overwrap
I'll
it.
go
so,
steal that.
so it look. Do it. I don't
We
care.
have a dummy.
But
right?
No.
you can take the dummy, but it comes down like it's like the webbing comes down,
That's
and then
great.
you just see like one of his hands hanging out, and then you tie him up by his dude. It's terrifying. Really good.
So I
like that.
I made a joke, but do people get their Halloween decorations stolen?
Yes.
Because that big ass.
Dan Cummins, producer. I think I'm right on this. If anybody out there is a Time Suck listener, Dan Cummins, producer, who's also on that show, Is We Dumb, Joe Paisley. Mm-hmm. I believe he had a Halloween dragon that was stolen last year, and some of the Time Suck listeners came together and bought him a new one.
Like a
Dude, those
inflatable?
12-foot skeletons are getting stolen every
Super
year.
expensive
Yeah.
too, man.
Because it's the expensive stuff, yeah.
And people are waiting in front of their sought after, right? So someone can steal them, probably resell it online,
Yeah.
and for profit. So
Ooh,
do you have
Jay
to
Cornell's looking out for
chain
you.
it down?
They got a pre-spiderweb dummy they sell on Amazon. You can just buy it and
Oh.
hang it by its feet.
All right, okay, I
Yeah,
like
just throw
that.
some money at it. That's what I would do.
So anyway, and then I don't do any of the lights. It's all that. And then I got a graveyard with styrofoam gravestones.
Nice. Yeah, that's a classic too. I like that you went. You know what? Your boys are old souls. They went for a lot of the traditional, and I like the stone. The graveyard stones. Andrea will not let me do. I don't know why.
Oh, this is good right here on Amazon. Cocoon Corpse.
There you go. Cocoon corpse.
It also has lighted LED light up eyes.
Oh,
Only
dude.
$21.
Dude, grab that. It's
All
got
right.
light up eyes. That's
Yes.
terrifying.
Well, order that for me.
Do they have one that wriggles like he's stuck? That would be dope. Every like 5 minutes or something, he's like, "Get me out of here! Help!" That would be awesome.
Now, no one or not that many kids come down my cul-de-sac
Ew.
because I feel like they're deterred by the fact that it is a cul-de-sac because you have to go down and then come back instead of just go down the street.
Is that
you know
where
what I'm
we're
saying?
at with kids these days? They can't.
No,
I don't know.
Man,
Well, no.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
Ew,
but
cul-de-sacs, yuck.
but it makes
I like that because you go down one side of the street, you
Yeah.
circle around, come around the back.
It's
yeah,
efficient.
but not everybody. Like we've got a mixture of like young and old.
You give
There's-
out candy.
Yeah, we do. Actually, we leave the bowl next to the French Witch, which we also break. The only time the French Witch ever.
You may not want to say that.
What? What do you mean?
Just saying, Halloween Halloween decorations get stolen? The only time the French Witch is seen is on Halloween. Wink, wink.
I mean, you could steal. Why would anybody steal
Tom
that?
doesn't want
Yeah,
that thing. So if you steal it, you're doing him a favor.
Yeah. I mean, you go steal.
Although
it.
Crystal, mad.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
she'll take the video to the police,
Oh my
and they
gosh,
won't
she'll-
care.
yeah.
But like she'll try to track it down.
A congressional hearing about it.
But anyway, not that many kids come down because we always leave a bowl of candy. And Crystal, like last year, made like individual bags because of Corona.
That's
like,
really nice.
Instead of the bowl of mixed candy, you stick your hands in.
The big one here is the
And
candy
there was a
shoot.
ton left.
The candy shoot from
Yeah.
the balcony is what people like to do here.
There'll probably be a little bit of that. Like last year, I remember it was a lot of candy shoots, a lot of distance, and now it's probably like a little more of the same, right?
Yeah, I think people are like,
loosen up.
I don't care anymore.
I mean, there'll be a lot of more of that, right?
Yeah.
It's moving. The line's moving that way.
Yeah,
right?
and then that night,
It's moving towards I don't care.
It's kind of like getting excited, right? Like you're gonna get excited, even if you're a little cautious. You're like, I'm still gonna be cautious, and then it's like, and ready to trick or treat, and then you just go wild.
yeah.
You just don't even care.
So now the Halloween decorations, to do your whole house.
I think you should this year, or at least add some purple lights to your spider web.
But again, who the people like that BDM that waited in line? Does he have kids or does it no kids?
He has, I think his daughter's like 14.
Okay,
Oh,
so
she doesn't even care anymore.
She loves it though. No, she loves it.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
You
But-
guys think that adults don't like decorating for the holidays?
Well,
No, I just
without
think kids
kids
don't. I know 16-year-olds don't. I know
Yeah,
they're
she's
just like.
she's really into it.
Yeah,
you know.
14. I think maybe 2 more
If
years.
she were a
and-
14-year-old boy, dare I say, she'd be giving me the middle finger while I'm on a ladder putting a spider web up.
Well, because I think that because I go back to what I had.
I
my
remember
mentality,
aging out of it.
But maybe nowadays kids are having more fun. I don't know.
I remember hanging out with my dad and giving out candy.
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
what he liked to do. Like, my dad's favorite thing of Halloween, and I know you guys have heard this a million times, was giving out candy. He loved it. He'd spend a ton of money on it.
Yeah.
And he would dress up, and he loved sitting there and counting all of them. And his thing was to see how many different trick-or-treaters he could get.
I think of all the
he'd have
holidays
hundreds.
though, like Halloween is like the cool holiday.
It
even
is
for
the cool.
teens.
Yeah, it is.
Blood and guts and
Yeah.
violence and
And I mean,
It's better than Easter.
even young
I'll give it
teens
that.
still like
exactly.
going around.
Teens don't give a damn about Easter, but
Nah.
they'll have fun
eating
at Halloween.
candy. Yeah. So.
You want to see the new thing I want to do? And I
Yes.
just bought it without my wife's permission.
Because I was going to ask you, there are technology that is being
Well,
incorporated.
Butler
with these
showed me
decorations.
this, and
Yeah.
I made an impulse buy. I don't normally get in here, fire up the Amazon, and just start clicking wildly, but I just did that. And this is what I bought. I'll put it on the screen so you can watch it. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. If you guys want to check this out, I'll go to the page. This is from the Singing Pumpkin page. I bought a budget projector, an HDMI cable, and I'm going to buy the files that I need. And I need
This is straight out of Haunted Mansion.
I need 3 pumpkins, right? I'm going to need 3 pumpkins to pull this off. I want to use real ones. I don't want to use foam ones because I think that's kind of cheaping out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do Enter Sandman
Yes.
by Metallica.
Don't
Yeah, that's what Nerd Dads do. This is from, you can go to thesingingpumpkin.com. They are not a client. Oh, yeah, buddy. This is what I'm doing. You can see this right now on
I
Twitch.
love it.
And he's looking around. The middle pumpkin is James Hetfield. The other two, Hetfield. The other two pumpkins. I think Lars is on the right because he's the dumb-looking one. And then Robert Trujillo is on the left, I believe. See how they're wincing their eyes like the metal music is too loud for their pumpkin ears. Now they're headbanging, right? Tell me, come on, dude.
This
I'm
is the most nerdy dad thing in the world.
Yeah, it's great though.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna now wait till he sings, and then I'll cut it off. We're not gonna do the whole song, but how cool is that, right? Or not
I love
cool? Sam's in. Butler, you showed it to me.
Well, I like fun, so.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at him go!
I mean, other nerd dads will
I'm doing
enjoy
this.
it, right?
Do you think a nerd dad with a cold beer will stop there and listen to it, and he'll go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah.
Give me pumpkin, give me pie, give me that which is hot.
And
Now
so
I want to do my own Grim Grinning Ghost from the Haunted Mansion.
You can borrow my my projector.
Okay.
So
Ask Tom to buy your projector.
what is this? What does that cost? A projector?
Well, the projector was like $100.
Oof.
So that was the big end, but everything
Yeah.
else was like $6, $7, $10. You know, like wire.
Yeah.
You know, you need I need the pumpkins are going to cost me like, you know, I got to find budget pumpkins. Like what, $10 a piece, $15 a piece, something like that?
It seems like back in the day that people used to make a lot more of their decorations, right? It is before, I guess, the China factories took over
You
the
have
world,
one of
where you
them.
just buy cheap Chinese
I
garbage.
think you have one of them. I mean, one of the classics I think that like in recent years has been the Spiderweb, and I'm pro. I've made fun of it in the past, but I'm pro you even having some fun. But the one that I remember as a kid that was legendary was Dummy on a zip line that scared the crap out of us, and there would be some dad in a tree, and we'd be walking back from. You know, I'm in a subdivision getting some candy, and you'd come out, and that zip line, that witch would fly right in front of your face and scare the ever-living crap out of you.
Then you take your mom's old wedding dress,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
you bunch it up and then tie a rope with a ghost.
Throw some food coloring
Yeah,
on it.
you
And
might
then-
throw some paint on
you
it or
make- yeah.
something. And
That it's a wedding dress bottom, bunchy up, tied a rope around it, ghost, right? That's what I remember. The 80s,
Yeah.
that was a homemade decoration, the spider web. But then, like, you never had animatronic anything.
Well,
blow up
as a
anything.
child, the only decoration I made, and I've got like a rag in front of me, is you would put your finger in inside of like a paper towel, and then you'd cinch it, and then you put like a rubber band around the top like that, and there's your ghost.
Yeah.
And then you'd
Yeah.
hang that from a tree, and you'd hang like 1,000 of them in the tree, but really it just looked like somebody had toilet papered your house.
Does that still happen? The old
Yeah.
egging and toilet paper type
I'm
of
sure it does.
because
It's never happened in my neighborhoods, but.
I remember getting my house toilet paper.
Yeah, we got a
Really?
yeah.
But we had it in Deltona, but that was like a radio listener that did it. You know,
It's like a 50-year-old man leaning out of a King Ranch Ford,
something like that.
F-150.
Uh,
If you Dougie!
so since we've got the Halloween's on Sunday, right?
Yes.
So
it is on a
Sunday.
Sunday this
It
year.
is on a Sunday.
So that's when you do your trick or treating, right? You don't do it the day
I'm
before.
always a fan of the traditional do it on actual Halloween.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
You
do
can't-
it early or do it late if it's not on the
Well,
weekend.
no one's ready for it.
I mean, I guess I am, but I wish that kids would get the day off then maybe.
I don't disagree with
like,
that.
Like, it'd be like...
Or a half day.
Yeah, because like Saturday, like doing it Saturday night would be ideal, you know, for like, because everybody's off. Maybe you don't have to work. Maybe you have to get up early the next morning. I don't know. I kind of feel for, and I know and maybe this is me subconsciously speaking for Maisie because I know Andrea's going to want to stick to the schedule. You know what I mean? Like we'll cut it
Yeah.
short.
Because she goes to bed early.
There is no not going to bed when bedtime. That's not on the table. When bedtime starts, she goes to bed. That is not negotiable. I have
Man.
effed this up so many times, Sam.
Not even for special
No.
events like Halloween?
No, because if I stretch it, then the next day, Maisie's all off, and then Andrea will look at me and be like, "See,
Yeah, but she'll be fine in the next following
adhere
day.
to the schedule."
Yeah, and then, but,
Yeah,
I mean,
Andrea's regimented.
The
It's
opposite
just-
of that is my sons are up till 11:30 at night,
Yeah.
I would
still
love that.
talking
That's
to each
too
other.
far.
I want that.
Not-
I want to
not
watch
like-
Saturday Night Live with
10.
my daughter. You know,
Yeah.
we're chilling out. We're eating Reese cups.
Oh, I got this new thing on Monday night where I'll let the boys watch the opening kickoff and like the first quarter
That's
of Monday Night
awesome.
Football,
Yeah.
and it's the only way because I'm bribing them to sit with me on the couch and watch football
I
and
love
ask
it.
me questions, and they'll do it only because they know they get to stay up.
Doesn't matter. Still counts.
So and that's what so it gets dark at 8:15 or whatever. So that's what sucks about doing it on Sunday is that you want to trick or treat when it's at least a little dark, right? it like doing it during the daytime is. Not
I
as
always
good.
thought that too, but then you watch like movies like Hocus Pocus, and they started during the daylight.
Well, you start at dusk. Like you start for little ones.
As
You start
the sun
around
starts going down.
like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
So it's still light. Like every year we've gone trick or treating, it's been light outside when we started and dark when we got back.
My wife does that. That's so nerd. It should be dark. You're right.
Doing it all and when it's light outside seems like you're cheating yourself out of a.
Yeah, but I had the worst one. You guys never. I'm sure you were never privy to this, but I had the worst one. You would get candy, but it was just so guarded and so protected that it wasn't as much fun. But our church would put on like a. It was like Halloween on Church Street or what, and then you same kind of thing that they used to do at the radio station, which I'm also anti.
Oh.
Where you would show up and then it was like they'd advertise it as like a place where you can get candy from people that aren't bad, which that's not true because there's plenty of bad people in the church.
Yeah.
But it'd be like, they're kind of touting it as like, come here, you're not going to get like that pedophile razor blade candy. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And of course at our church that was true because no issues, right? Like my mom worked there. It was no big deal. But I will be honest, now this can't hurt her feelings. She's not around. It was not as much fun to walk the halls. And you'd go to the door, they'd have it like decorated like a house, and you'd knock, and then there wasn't a lot. You go to church, there's not a lot of scary stuff. You get a lot of like, who are you? I'm Moses. I'm like, all right. Wow, great costume.
Yeah. Although
Jesus after he's been
on a
that's
cross,
rough.
your hands are to feet.
Crown of thorns.
Nobody ever did that.
Blood,
Nobody ever did that. It's too far.
But that's the scary
But
stuff.
you got that on Sunday.
You got a lot of cowboys.
Cowboys in the church?
Yeah, you got a lot of cowboys, a lot of Indians.
Like
you got
the
like
devil.
Well, with
the
the
devil's
Yes.
scary.
With the cowboys and
I like how
Indians,
they don't add anything religious that's actually scary.
the cowboys and Indians,
Like,
I'm pretty
too
sure they
scary.
said the cowboys were Christian and it was up to them to teach the savages, right? Like, that's how they did it. I'm sure. It's ridiculous. But it wasn't as much fun. But we would get a mega haul, though. You had to kind of pick your battles. So which would you rather do? Would you rather go around to all the cool houses or possibly ride your bike? See, that was my thing. I loved riding my BMX bike around and seeing how many houses I could hit. But on the flip side of that,
And you're going to get better costumes, better decorations at like random houses in neighborhoods.
you are, but you got more candy at church.
There's also
because
the
it was
random houses in the
contained.
neighborhoods that would have their own little haunted house, either in their house or their backyard or whatever.
I thght you did
Not
that.
as
Some
much-
nerd dad
We're-
put together.
Well, we're talking about the late 70s with Daniel. Like, not much out there,
I was 3 in
Exorcist
79.
just came out.
Let's go early 80s, okay? Let's go early 80s.
The Exorcist just came out.
Let's go right around 1983, 84, okay?
It's like bringing your kids to trick or treat at the mall. Don't do that. Like, that
Trunk
is-
or treat?
You are
what'd you
robbing
get?
your kids.
What'd you get, Sicklets? Where'd you get that at? Justice?
Yeah.
Just Us Girls?
Yeah. You got some sweeties at Journey's.
I used to work at
There,
Journey's.
you are a sweetie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, my God. If I saw you at Journey's, I'd be
We
hanging
didn't
around
do that
a
at the
little more.
mall that I worked at.
You didn't
What
do
mall?
the.
Yeah, we
West
used to be
Oaks?
Festival Bay.
Oh, that's a good mall.
I thought they did that
was-
at every mall.
No.
Like
But there was a
My wife worked at
literally-
West Oaks, and they didn't do it at
There
West
were
Oaks.
only
Oh,
half the
well, then-
shops open there, so there wasn't even enough shops open to make it worth it.
Yeah,
They did nothing at West Mall. Well, no, that's not true. They would have some raids. They would have SWAT raids. Yeah, it was rough.
I remember like when managers from Champs or Foot Locker would get transferred, like they were crossing their fingers it wasn't West Oaks because
I can
think there's
remember
a armed robbery
every
there
day.
with
No, there. Oh, what are you talking about? My wife told me stories
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how every
There's
day,
a-
every
yeah.
day she would be standing in the T-shirts at Old Navy folding them while people would walk in and just grab like 80 of them and walk out, and she wouldn't do nothing. She'd just stand there and
Yeah.
keep folding.
Yep,
well, what is he gonna do?
exactly.
No, but I like the vision of her like with that little board. You put the
Yeah.
shirts on. She's folding them, and the guy just walks in, just grabs like 40 shirts and walks out.
So besides, like I know that at schools they'll do the trunk or treat things. Like
I've never understood that. Is that they put
Communities
the
do that,
candy
too.
in your trunk? Is that what that's supposed to mean?
No,
Yeah, it's
it's-
kind of like tailgating for candy.
Yeah, it's instead of the house, it's your own car or tailgate, and you set up your
Like homeless people.
you set up the you either decorate your trunk or you set up a 10x10 promotional
Little
tent,
tents,
Van
and then
life.
you decorate that, and then you just go. Although it is
That's kind of cool.
but it is cheating because you're just like going from one. It's consolidating the whole thing but it's not much work.
So tired, so lazy.
Yeah.
That used to be y'all's motto.
Yeah, it's true. But now with my kids, I'm like, well, I don't want them to be as lazy as
Don't
I
you
am.
just pull them around in a wagon anyway?
We bring a wagon because they get tired of walking.
So what difference does it make?
Well, at least they get in and
That's
out of
more
the
work
wagon.
for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be work
It
for
is.
you.
I know.
You think your hands are burning now? You pull a wagon for 8 hours.
Well, if I can ride the one wheel,
That's a good
but
idea.
I won't. I get denied that because Crystal's like, you got to walk with the family.
And neither one of you are dressing up this year.
You need a golf cart.
If my sons want me to, Tommy now doesn't want to be.
He's Pennywise. No,
Pennywise.
no.
Now
he changed it?
He's changed it to Among Us.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Among Us.
Among Us.
That
okay.
little astronaut-looking bubble boy looking thing.
So they like Among Us, even though they don't know how to play.
So does Maisie. She draws the character and colors it in. I'm like, who is
Well,
that?
that's an easy costume.
She's like, it's a fat astronaut.
She's not wrong.
Here's why it's not, because the one that he wants is just a square blow-up one that you wear.
That's cute.
No arms. So he
Oh,
wants
he can't eat candy.
Well, no, he wants me to carry his candy
Oh,
bag.
he's found ultimate laziness.
Genius.
He's getting
This
pulled in a
kid's
wagon.
goddamn
He doesn't
genius.
even have to hold his own bag of candy.
He's a genius.
And, well,
He's grifting
And
you.
he found the guy that can't say no.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But I said, I was like, well, you can't hold your bag of candy. He's like, well, this is the costume. It doesn't come with arms.
He's
Like,
right.
Cut some holes in there.
Team Tommy.
Well, they
No.
can't because it's blow. It's
inflatable.
It's in
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, it's the inflatable one.
Let me
So
see it.
Oh,
they're gonna be walking up the
God,
house
This is
and-
Bobo as hell.
I'm gonna be holding the damn bag of candy. I told him, I was like, be the.
They have some with
Pennywise.
arms.
Oh, they do.
They do
Okay,
on
well-
Amazon. Look, Amazon's your friend, bro.
Listen,
Oh, the second one is a Hooters girl with saggy tees.
Oh wow, there it
Oh,
is.
Look, this
that's
is right next to it.
Tom, you got to get that one.
It's look.
That's pretty cheap.
I looked up your son's costume. It's the second one.
How does that have anything to do with Among Us?
I have no
like,
idea.
what's the
It's
algorithm?
called Droopers. It's called a Halloween adult costume, and it's just called Droopers instead of Hooters. Droopers.
And that somehow caused the algorithm to like pop up when you search Among Us costumes.
I just typed in Among Us costume, and it just pulled up. The next one is the Droopers.
So then, what is Max gonna be? Just another Among Us?
Yeah, another
color?
Among Us,
Oh,
boring as hell.
God.
Yeah, another color. They don't
I
even
like
know the
that, I
name.
like that, I like
They don't. I'm like, come on, have some goddamn
that.
passion in your life.
I like that.
I was excited for Pennywise.
So both of us got skunked on our Halloween costumes. I got the laziest whatever. My
Yeah.
daughter decided that she wants to go as herself, the dancer.
Uh-huh,
She's
yeah,
just
yeah,
wearing
I
one
like
of her
that.
costumes. In fact, to the point where her teacher had to say, "Yeah, you can't wear one of the special costumes because we might do
Don't
that
mess
when
it up.
yeah, don't
Yeah.
mess it up." So now she's wearing like a 1940s like flapper girl blue leotard with spangles and sparkles, and she wants her makeup done and
Oh.
her hair all done and stuff like that. Boring. It's so boring.
Yeah, it is boring,
sucks. It just sucks. I'll
Not
say it here.
spooky,
I'll
that's
say it
for
here.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It sucks.
None of your kids are gonna be spooky.
No,
And I think Halloween should be spooky.
I do too.
That's why I'm just going to go work on my animatronic pumpkins. I'll just go over there, work on my decorations, and y'all can go out. I told now, how do you guys feel about this? Because it's something I asked Andrea and Maisie. They were okay with it, but I want to, you guys, I know you MFs will probably weigh in and try to make me feel bad. I want to do a version of what my dad liked to do at Halloween, and I want to stay home. I want to dress up, and I want to give out candy.
Okay, yeah.
While Maisie and Andrea go out.
You
I don't want to do the go out thing. I do it every year. I do nothing. I just walk with them while they go and do the thing. I just stand there.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be there. They don't check in with me. They don't look, Daddy, look what I got. It's none of that.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care.
If they don't care, then that's fine. I think,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. You think so? If I stay home and I man the house, because I want to give out
'Cause
candy like my dad.
it sounds horrible. You know, like it sounds like I'm staying here. My family's going. But if they don't care, then it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, then it's logically fine because no one's missing out.
No.
If Maisie's like, please, I want you to go, and then you stayed home,
I feel
it'd be
like dads
horrible.
trick-or-treating with the family is a new thing anyway. Did you ever see dads trick-or-treating with the kids
My
when you were
dad-
growing up?
My dad always
He
did.
did?
Yeah, see, I am not the guy
No,
you want
my-
to ask about a dysfunctional family because my parents were, other than they die fast, they were good, right? I mean,
it started with
Dad
my
loved
But
Halloween.
even families I knew that had like good parents, like the dads always just stayed home.
Dad loved Halloween. He loved it.
It started with my pop-up, and I'll
Ooh.
in the 1950s dad, because they damn sure they didn't even know it was Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
like
What?
They would have no idea what their kids were going to be for Halloween.
Yeah,
like the-
they didn't know it was Halloween, or if you're like maybe they're ultra religious, they didn't believe in it, or they hated it, or is garbage. And so then that formed because they damn sure didn't do anything and didn't do anything with their kids, and their kids are our parents.
God, my dad was soft then.
And my dad, to counteract that, and I think do the opposite of what his childhood, because of my pop was such a hard roommate.
Correct, okay.
He's like, well, I'm gonna go out with my kids.
Right.
Now my dad just drove the van.
That's what my dad did, yeah.
With a Bud regular in the.
My dad was way too drunk by the time we went trick or treating.
Yeah, you'd run out and then you'd run back.
Yeah, and then he would just ride, and we would just ride in the van, and then jump out, and then go trick, and then get back in the van, and he'd drive slowly down the street or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that turned in, but that was when we were real young. When we were about probably 7 or 8, it was out on our own. Like no one would go with us,
Yeah.
right? I just go with my buddy Joe.
We just hop on our bikes and head out.
Yeah, and then like
I had a time when I knew I had to get home.
I don't know what the age is now. You send your kids by themselves.
It's all off, dude. I have no concept of that because I remember heading out, and the only rule was I had to call my mom, and like I had to keep track of the time. I had to be in by I think probably 9:30 or something like that, and I was supposed to call halfway through the night at Jonathan Taylor's house. I'd ride my bike to his house and use his home phone to call.
Okay.
And I did that, and I was as free as I am now. Like I could ride to Winn-Dixie and get soda,
Oh, yeah,
spend my
we
money.
wandered around.
You just go wherever you want it, as long as
Probably
you
way
weren't-
too young.
Yeah, I think so too,
Yeah.
right?
Call my mom's mobile. I'm gonna ask her how old was I when I was allowed to just leave out on my own? Because I feel like I was like Tommy's age, just around there. Because
I want to say I was 10, 11, 12.
Because I my boys were weighing themselves the other day, and they're just about 50 pounds. They're both like, I think Max is like 49 pounds or whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute. I remember playing in the under 50-pound Pee Wee football league, so I must have been their age.
No, but this is a breakthrough because like you don't have a lot of vivid.
Well,
You've told me before that you don't have a lot of vivid, but if you can remember that, that's good.
I remember that fact. So I must have been around their age, and around that time when I was playing football, Pee Wee football, I think I was trick-or-treating by myself. So I must have been 7 or 8. But what is the standard now? Do you have to? Oh, it's my mom here.
You'll get shamed either way, whatever age you let your kids go.
yeah.
Your kids won't want to go out by themselves.
Oh, my wife, of course. I mean, this will, Sam, I'll be following them to be 22. Walking around.
I like that.
So, Mom, are you
Light
there?
my cigarette, Dad.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Mom. So do you remember what age you started letting me go trick-or-treat by myself? Because I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Like, I remember Dad used to drive around with a Bud regular in the van, and we used to jump out. But I think I was way young at that point. Then you went with me for a while, but was I out trick-or-treating at 7 or 8, or what age?
No, I didn't let you go that young. We used to take Mom A and go around and take you guys into the bigger neighborhoods so that there wasn't so much walking, and they give out good candy.
Oh.
But I think I was more, maybe you were in 5th grade or so, going into 6th, and you and Joey wanted to go. And
It's like 10, 11.
So 10,
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, I think that was me too.
Is
The double digits, I think it's fine, right?
is that still how it goes nowadays?
I don't know. I don't have kids.
I wouldn't let a 10-year. It's like Becca's almost going to be 10 next February. I would not let her out walking by herself. No.
Well, you let me do it. You love her more.
You don't matter.
You love Becca more than your son.
The
do.
truth comes out.
No.
I love Becca more than you.
No, it's the problem is because now, like, we're aware of so much out there. It's crazy.
We didn't know of the
and-
pedophiles. They're out there, but we didn't care
There's
then.
more pedophiles back then.
Yeah, now they
Well,
got to
no, I
register.
But you knew those parts. It's
Yeah, you
mainly
knew those
just,
pedophiles.
I
You
don't know.
knew the bass player for
You knew to
Casey and the
stay away
Sunshine
from
Band.
them.
I think it's just that we I don't know. Even back then, I think we still worried. And I asked, where you going? You can only stay on this block or the next block. I was trying to give you a little room. But that's why I always let the kids come play at our house, because
You can watch them.
I'd rather do that and watch than have you be out somewhere and I don't know what you're doing.
Well, you know what we were doing at our house? I was throwing keg parties. We were the ones that were partying and a full
I'm
keg.
glad you were at our house, so at least I didn't know what you were doing.
Weed.
Well,
Anyway.
I did know what you were doing, but I was okay with most of it. And,
Don't say that.
Oh my God.
Wait, what weren't you okay with?
The Urban Meyer parts, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you know.
well, no, because
blasting.
nowadays everyone's putting that stuff out on social media and look at me, look at me.
I'm
Or
blasting.
back when you were throwing parties, no one knew the difference unless they were at the party.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't
So
tell.
Mom
You're
couldn't
the
get
best
in
mom.
trouble.
You know what?
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for your service, Mama Van. That's
Yeah.
a good mom.
You know, and she make everybody put keys in a fishbowl,
Yeah.
so no one.
Yeah,
And wash your
there was
hands
a lot
if you're
of
gonna
parents
blast.
that
I'm lying.
didn't
We're
understand
drunk
how I could have that many kids
Or
at
just
the
leave
house. But
wasted. I'm like, get the hell out of here. You're not sleeping
well,
in my
no,
room.
there was weekends I woke
Drunk.
up and there would be kids in my living room and kids in your room and stuff. But I'd rather see that than them be on the road or leave the house and something happens.
A
So I
good
was okay
kid
with
orgy is way better than drunk driving.
They're on the road.
This all makes sense now with it and Penny the Clown and Kid Orgy.
Also, Mom, I remember when I did take my candy haul home, I would just eat until
yeah.
I was
Oh,
sick.
oh, man.
And then I would, the next morning, breakfast or whatever, like eat candy.
Yeah, there was no
milk.
regulation.
Yeah. And nowadays, and we're making the kids weak, Mom. You see it with my sons and the parenting. Me and Crystal were making 2 snowflakes. We limit the amount of candy they could have in one sitting.
You're supposed to do that.
We limit the
Is
amount of TV
is your
they
mom
can
not
watch.
pro candy limiting?
I mean, there was no limit when I grew up.
I thought I told you.
Yeah, like,
I'm a no limit candy soldier.
I don't remember there ever being like, you can only,
My
have
mom
2
never,
pieces.
You know what's funny is my mom never put a limit on my candy either. I went ham on that candy,
Yeah.
dude.
But then if we ate
It
too
was
much,
my
we just
candy.
barf it out.
You would just barf it.
And then
You'd
we
learn.
our lesson, right? Like, that's how kids are supposed to learn, right, Mom?
Yeah, well, I just felt you eat candy for a couple of days and then you were done with it. And then a couple of days after that, I would say, "Oh, the ants got in it. I had to throw it out." And you didn't seem to care. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I care about anything. You think ants?
Well,
He's
you
gonna
looked out,
care
Mom.
about ants on his candy?
You know what?
These ants have plagued his whole life.
You know what, Mom? Now that I think about it, because I am now raising 2 sons like me, and they don't care about nothing either, and it's easier because, like, you can
It's a great life.
Yeah. Like, they don't seem to care what happens. Now, how did I get into football, Mom? Because my sons don't want to do nothing, and I was like, you have to do something. They don't want to do nothing. Did I want to do football? Did you force me to do it?
a little bit of both. I mean, I wanted you out and playing, and you weren't big into a group sport. You were more into just what
Oh,
you could
boy.
do and what you could accomplish.
He's
so
the same man.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
he
I
is.
pushed you a little, and I said, try it out. If you don't like it, then we'll give it up. But
I'm
then
gone,
once you were
baby.
in, well, there was a couple times you said, I don't want to do this, and then back then it was Joey was in it too, and so I thought, oh, okay. And then I saw things that weren't quite right when they were making Joey jog around and trying to make weight and things like
No,
that.
he was a fat kid.
Take another lap, Johnny.
Baloney Joe.
Yeah. That was in the 80s, the coaches
You
would
need to
yell.
drop weight. Look at Van. Van's got it, but this guy's a big chunk.
In the 80s, the coaches would call you the F word for gays. Like,
Yeah.
I was 6 years old, and like I remember when it was raining and all the ants
Yes.
came out of the
Yes.
ground, and then we still practiced.
Hey, take another lap, candy tits. I'm sorry, Sam.
And then every kid was getting bitten by 1,000 fire ants because the entire field was flooded with fire ants.
Yeah, they just sit on the water and wait for children to run by. That's how they survive.
Yeah. And no, I mean, there was no like going to the administrator back then or going to the K-Land like a manager and complaining.
I need to see a manager
Nothing
about
ha-
these fire ants.
Nothing
Well, it
happened
just
after that.
shows you because you got hit a couple of times really hard, and I felt, oh my God, and I would run out on the field, and the coach goes, if you run out on the field one more time, I'm going to kick him off the team.
Oh, God, what an a-hole.
I know, he was,
and my mom learned, right?
Yeah, I didn't run out there because I was like, oh my God, he hurt himself. And he goes, he'll be fine. Walk it off. That was his big thing. And
I like that.
But this is the same guy that you hurt your foot, and so you couldn't participate for a little while.
And he's like, I'll massage
your feet.
your feet.
On a date.
I'll suck the pain out.
Oh my God!
You know what
On your
really,
feet.
you know what would really help you if I, let me just lick these toes a little bit here. Oh, how's that feel?
Lube them up.
How's that feel? You want to get in the shower and do some rhythmic slapping?
Yeah. I mean, no one was on the lookout for any of that, right?
No.
No one thought about.
Well, when the predator is telling the mob who's protecting you to get the hell off the field.
Right.
I mean.
Oh. So what happened, Mom?
Well, it was just the same douchebag as the one that after I had you out for a couple of weeks because you hurt your foot or your ankle or something. And he called me on the phone and he said that he knew I was single and he wanted to see if I wanted to have dinner. He didn't
I want to see if your feet taste like your son's feet. I'm really into feet. I've been sucking your son's toes. I'd like to suck yours if you're single, man.
But I
I'm a
wanted to,
douchebag.
I couldn't believe that he thought, after my look at him when you told me to get off the field, that I would actually go out with. I mean, what is wrong with
You like the way I yelled at you, right? That turned
Men
you
are
on. The way I
terrible.
screamed at you in front of everybody, threw a lawn chair at you.
Again, this is a late 80s, early 90s.
I know.
Love languages were different then.
Yeah. If you're the football coach, you got an extra testosterone. You got a mustache. He had a mustache, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Confirm. Yeah. I vaguely
This
remember.
is my favorite story your mom's ever told. The coach, he's being an a-hole to her, and then he calls her and asks her out.
Yeah, and then
I know.
did I finish the season? I quit, right? And you let me quit.
No, you finished. You finished the season, and I said that I'd had enough. It was starting to get more and more like these guys were trying to make weight. It was all about winning, and I wanted you to have like a good time. I didn't care if you won or not.
Oh, you hate that, don't you?
It was the good old days when we won.
But then Jenny got into cheering, so I was back on those same fields, but with the girls, and it was a little bit different because we knew Lucy, and Lucy let Jenny get away with a lot of stuff that she didn't have to do. The other girls did, things like that.
And in a positive stereotype, most women don't suck their students' toes.
Yeah. We're
That's
not
a
into
fact.
toes.
That's a
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
stereotype for ladies.
Every once in a while, it
You'll get
happens in middle school
You'll
with
get
a
an
teacher.
Yeah, you'll get a crazy hypersexual teacher that
Yeah.
has some mental dysfunction.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it doesn't happen very often.
All right, Mom.
Yeah, you just have to push the boys every now and then. Like, even Becca, she's been in karate for quite a while, and she's moving up. And there's some days that she goes, I don't really want to go. I'm tired. But I go, yeah, but you can rest when you get home, and I just kind of push along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Mom. If you can convince the boys to get into something, Tommy said
You're the parent.
he wanted to be.
No.
I was like, what? Just pick something, and then we can move forward towards that. Like, it's like not interested.
They don't have a gamer club?
And I don't want the gamer club.
Okay.
Like,
That's what Tom wants.
I want something physical or something that
How
gets them out
about a
running.
good old school shop class?
I don't think there exists.
Woodworking.
6 and 7
Yeah, your
year olds.
boys are not going to want to do stuff that they have to run around in the heat. Maybe put them in something when the cooler
Hold on,
weather is around.
are you calling my boys soft?
They're lilies.
They're so sweet. They're beautiful.
Well,
How do you?
She
you
said,
know,
well.
She
when
paused on
Tommy
it.
comes over, I carry him to the trampoline.
Oh, my God. Should we
We
hang
gotta
Don't
go.
carry him
well,
to the
there's
trampoline.
ants.
I know. I worry about the ants.
You got to save your
So I
energy for the
carry
jumping,
him.
not the walking.
There's the fire ants. Although I still, oh God! All right, Mom. The longer I keep you on here, the less respect people have for me and everybody involved.
But we do love
Well, I'm
you.
going to see the boys on Friday. They're coming to play.
All right, well, you
Or
toughen them up a little bit.
Yeah.
You yell at them.
Yes, I
Carry
will.
them around good.
No, you won't. You spoil them. You give them a bunch of candy,
Yeah, give
all
'em-
the
I
candy.
know
have
what,
candy.
I know you have.
Yeah.
I know you.
Because you're a good grandma. You know what I would do? I would hold both of them, no matter what Tom said. I would hold them and squeeze them. I'd carry them everywhere and give them both lollipops. That's what I
That's
would do.
it.
Yep,
I like to baby them.
You're a grandma. You're allowed to do that. If you weren't doing that, you're doing it wrong. My grandma did that. I went to my grandma's one time with $1. I came home with a $75 custom corduroy coat with leather patches on the side, custom-made pants and cowboy boots.
There's no real man in their life to teach them anything. There's no Pop-Pop or Steve. My dad. Everybody's gone. Everybody's looking at me. I'm
words.
soft.
David Jolly.
Is he gonna teach?
Yeah.
Is he gonna teach him to be tough?
Yes.
I don't know.
I was gonna say
No,
something
every
really
now and then you just have to say, even with Becca, I tell her to, suck it up, Buttercup, because we got to do this. Just things like that. You got to be a little bit more assertive.
Well, if you excuse me, I need to go carry my grandson to the trampoline.
You don't do that, Mom. Get out of here. All right. I'll see you this Friday.
We love you. Be good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, love
See
you.
ya. She's so funny.
Trying to tell
my
me
God.
that this is how you do it. You didn't do that. You didn't do it to me.
She made you play football?
No, but look how weak I am. I'm not tough at all.
But you're very. That's BS. You're very tough.
I mean, I'm not as tough as other people I see. I see Concrete Mike. I see other guys.
No, but you are tough. You don't complain about pain. If your hands have been on fire, you're almost disabled at this point. You're not complaining about it.
Yeah. Well, that's but all with the stuff, the legitimate toughness.
I think that's legitimately tough.
I have a weak job.
I can't debate.
I don't do anything extra tough at the house. That
I
my
can't
son
get an
sees.
erection anymore.
Like the stereotypical. I'm building something. I'm out there getting in a fist fight with someone in the neighborhood.
That's not make you tough. You can go over and beat your neighbor up.
All right. Bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here. A big shout out to our fish tank sponsor, Top Shelf Aquatics. Specifically to Sean, who keeps our tank looking better than it ever has. I think we're dialed in now. So I do like to mention them and give them some love because they come every week and zhuzh us up a little bit. But, hey, man, thank you guys for making our studio fish tank look great. And if you've ever wanted to see our fish tank, it's kind of like the unofficial mascot of our show. When you're watching us live on Twitch, the fish are always there kind of easing the mood and making things light. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, and the replays are always on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live.
And real quick, October 16th at Hourglass Brewing in Longwood, the CBE group is doing a beer pong tournament. Butler's going to be out there.
Nice.
And we're going to have our Hourglass Tom and Dan pint glasses available for free out there. All you have to do is order a beer and ask for a Tom and Dan pint glass. And
so you can go to Hourglass and get Hourglass.
I like that. Never even thought of it. And they'll be available at that time. And then we bought a bunch of them. So even while supplies last.
They're cool too.
They should last at least a couple weeks after.
While you're out there, hit up that mystery vending machine
Yes.
prize pack.
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
people didn't know about those.
Yeah, we didn't really promote that.
Somebody was draining it. Like
Yeah,
somebody was just
they got a
dumping
few of
money into it and snagging it. They got pinball machines. They got video games. They got axes to throw.
Yeah.
All the taps running with nothing but delicious beverages. They got art from people that we know. They're rotating artwork in and out of there all the time. They got Waco Taco next door.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to jump over there and just stuff your belly crazy.
You could literally order, and then there's no wall in between, so you just walk across and eat at Hourglass with some delicious beers.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
If you wanted to, you could walk in Waco Taco, buy a luchador mask, put it on, buy 2 tacos, walk next door, play pinball, throw 3 axes, drink 6 beers, and go home.
Yep, Alan, that's perfect.
You could do that.
Get a free Tom and Dan pint glass.
Don't drive
with
home.
your beer.
Yeah, don't drive home.
Let's do some voicemail, email.
Okay, let's start with an email, Sam, because I'm going to fire up these voicemails. First, emails.
All right. Old movies. I know Samantha revisits older movies. Take 50 milligrams of THC and watch How High. Meth and Red really get it in. Plus, Lark Voorhees before she totally lost her crap. They could not produce or put this out in today's current culture, but it's such a great back and forth. Buck up, Bart, buck up. I quote this movie on the daily. BDM for life.
Lark
I did write
Voorhees.
this down as one to go back and watch because I've never watched How High. I did ask
Blow.
in my group. I think I asked about like quintessential stoner movies.
Yeah.
And I went
Half-Baked.
back and I did go back and watch Half Baked. It held up to me, but I watched it back then, so it
Nostalgia.
was nostalgic, I think. But I never watched How High. There
Although
were a couple other suggestions I hadn't seen, and I wonder if they'd actually be funny to me.
The only thing that really, to me, it doesn't. Half Baked, I think, does hold up. I still enjoy the Samson character that Dave Chappelle plays.
Yeah.
Like that still makes me laugh
Now,
a lot.
without Chappelle in it, does it hold up?
Man, we were on the same wavelength.
I think Chappelle's stardom makes it hold up because Chappelle, and he's a genius back then.
Yeah.
And so without him, that movie is.
Probably not
you've
that
heard him
good,
talk
no.
about it. Like they wrote it. I think what's his writing
Brennan?
part? Neil Brennan. He, I think, told the story at the Mark Twain Awards about writing that in literally a night or something. Like they just barfed out some crap.
Yeah.
And I think they're kind of embarrassed of it because they poke fun at it all the time. But when I remember when I was in high school, that was the pop culture phenomenon weed movie of the time. And it was super popular.
it went hand in hand with like owning a copy of Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
But when
You know?
when the generation above me told me about Cheech and Chong and how funny it was, I watched it when I was a kid. I thought it was garbage.
We're on the same wavelength,
I
man.
was like, this
went
is not
back-
funny at all. Stupid.
I have a story about that. Back at the video store that I went to is called Video News. Do you remember Video News?
Yes.
Yes.
I would go to Video News, and in the back, they'd have the pornos.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
also
yeah.
back in the back with the red curtain near the pornos, they would put like the, pun intended, spicier movies. So you would have a lot of your Faces of Death. You'd have the Cannibal something. Look up
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Is that right?
1980 film, yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there is a Cannibal Holocaust.
I rented that and hid it from my mom and dad. I rented all the Faces in Death, hid it from my mom and dad. I rented porno, hid it from my mom and dad. I also rented Half Baked. You know, I was older though. I'm an older dude.
Cheech and Chong, you mean?
Or I rented Cheech and Chong, 70s, right?
Yeah.
I rented.
I watched Cheech and Chong with my parents
What
when I
was
was
the
a child.
Cheech Marin had another Cheech Marin had another movie I remember getting as a kid because I thought there'd be some sweet 1980s boobies in it. It was To Live and Die in L. Is it Live and Die in L.A. or
Born in East LA.
Born in East
yeah.
L.A. I remember renting that. I remember renting these movies. I would specifically target certain comedy movies because I knew that the comedic actors in there were partiers and that they would put T words in there, like Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I knew of the infamous party scenes, so I would, if I hadn't seen it and my friend said, "Oh, you got to get that, there's great boobs in it," I would target that because I knew it'd make me laugh and it would also have boobs in it.
That was a marketing thing for movies back then with the meatballs, and like they added that because it was still
Up
hard.
the creek. My dad owned a physical copy of Up the Creek.
Because there was such a thirst for porn and nudity, and no way to really get it easily. Because there was like porno stores, but like you could, as a kid, like you'd have to get access to your parents' porno stash, or like find it in the woods. Like everybody was starving for it, so you'd put T's in bad movies or just any movie, comedy movies, whatever, because it would cause a bunch of teens to go and pay to go see it.
But you knew, like as a kid, you started to predict even when these things would happen. Like if there was some sort of an action movie with like Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris,
They put T's in it.
Well, but
Under
like,
Siege.
I even know where it would go. Like okay, let's say in this particular movie, Clint Eastwood had to go to an apartment building. I would be like, yes, an apartment building. He's going to get into a fight and they're going to knock him through the drywall. Then T's will be there. Like I knew it. I knew it as a kid. I knew to predict. Like when, let's say the detective, Chuck Norris is the detective. He's coming home, right? And he's going to see his wife. I knew they were going to make love. She's going to take her top off. Like I could predict that stuff.
Yeah. I knew in the movie Commando when they had the fight in the motel and they broke through the wall that
Some guy'd be pumping.
some businessman is banging a prostitute, and you see, they never even stopped, even though obviously there was a scuffle
Well, the
between
girl-
two giant men next
Sometimes
door.
the girl would do the quintessential move, and I've never seen it in real life. Like I've been walked in on and stuff but I've never had the girl I'm pumping grab the sheet and pull it up.
Yeah.
Like right under her
Yeah.
chin.
Also, aren't you more afraid of being killed than hiding your teas from strangers?
Yeah, I
Like,
would just run there down the street as fast as I could.
I think
without-
it's a natural reaction, though.
No, man, if you pulled out a gun right now and I were naked, I would run ding dong flying right down the street.
Yeah,
Right down the street, Sam.
If I'm-
You'd never see me.
if I'm nude and Arnold comes breaking through my motel until a wall.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm not bothering putting my pants on. I'm running, and the prostitute should run too.
Wiener
Yeah.
alert.
And if it's a
Also,
roadside,
how
motel-
embarrassed are you? You're a prostitute. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, not that you're not. You have the right to be shy, but I mean, on the spectrum of being afraid to show a stranger your tees, I would put prostitute higher on that. Being
the
okay with
librarian,
it.
sure.
Yeah.
I'd also go a step further and say that I saw you inadvertently. You didn't know I saw you because it's a movie, but I saw you getting pumped before you came to the drywall, and you look great. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Right? Let the freak flag, you got to fly it.
You know what? Now that I think about it, like my sons have never been exposed, and this is, I mean, obvious, but to a movie where accidental teas were shown, and I think I was for sure by Tommy's age.
I can remember most of them.
Yeah.
I
like under 10. I saw because no one knew what was it like. So then it was
Playboy
like,
After Dark. I remember.
teas would pop up in some movie.
I remember Electric Blue. You can look it up, Playboy Channel, Electric Blue. I remember the Little Gene. Remember that story? He showed me that on TV, and I knew it was wrong. I shouldn't be watching it. I can remember when my dad, the story about him renting that Chuck Norris movie or Delta Force, when in the movie there's like a nudity scene, and we're all sitting there watching it with like my grandparents and my uncle. And everyone's like, oh, like, don't turn away. They're screaming. I remember all of that.
Yeah, like Under Siege. When did that come out? And that came out in the mid 90s, right?
89, 91,
I think
92.
92.
Yeah. So
Under Siege 2 came out in 95.
So I saw
they
that.
waited too late.
I was 10 in 92. So for sure I saw that, and I saw teas at that 10. Now 10 maybe that's fine. But there was movies before that had teas that I saw.
The first one was Monty Python. That was another one of those video news. I rented it because it looked like a funny comedy. And it was like The Life of Brian. Next thing you know, he's being chased by a bunch of topless women on roller skates. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I was like, who doesn't like... And they were like big-breasted, like the stereotype big-breasted British women.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, ample. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And
I see them in the taxi.
Yeah, and they're all on... Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do. The lorry, sir.
Oh,
It's not a lorry.
Yeah. It's a weird... There's more room in the British
it's
one.
nice, you know?
Yeah, it's a big bubble back.
Yeah, with red leather in the back.
Yeah.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Let's do a voicemail.
All right, let's try this one.
Hey, Tom and Dan, just listening to the recent ACT show. Tom was talking about his planning a Colorado trip, wanted to go see a waterfall and a hike. I highly recommend Boulder Falls. It's a short hike, beautiful falls, and it is something you can take young kids on. I've taken my kids a couple of times, and there's a railing there most of the way, and it is safe for young children. So you might want to check that out. BDM out in Orange County left you guys a message previously about the water system for my folks out in Orlando. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir. You're very helpful.
Well, I mean, it's too late now.
Well, we got next year. You go every
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
year.
So
I have a feeling the waterfall visit thing's going to dry up pretty soon. You're going to have
my
to...
boys will get...
Yeah, you have to spice it up. You have to start doing some adventuring, like rappelling. How about rappelling? That sounds cool.
I would do it. Like, my dream is to have my sons ask me to take them on an adventure. Although my wife, I think she'd be too way too paranoid.
Would she
to
let
us
you go away on a boy's trip?
Hell no.
Yeah. Because of my
Damn,
past.
Sammy, you didn't have to say it like that.
Well, maybe if it was like Disney World, like something like some.
But you hate Disney World.
I know. Like, I want to go with just some guy that they put this together on Craigslist, and then
you and your sons,
true adventure.
You and your sons, Peace River down, camp in the field like we've done.
Oh, yeah.
And then home, just you, a man and his boys. I like the sound of that.
That's what I want.
Would you let me and Maisie tag along?
Yeah.
Do you think
She'd probably feel better if you and Maisie tagged along.
I don't know. I don't.
Maisie's
Well,
there to keep things
she
in
feel better
control.
because Maisie's there.
Right.
Yeah, not because I'm there. I mean, Maisie at that point would just become my Andrea.
Yeah.
And then you're like, my dad's drunk in the canoe and floating down and passed out. Then
Slap his cheeks.
I think my wife worries about because she's like
My
For
wife
children's
worries
safety?
about beer. She always worries about beer.
Valid point.
but I tell her, I'm like, well, when you're not there, I since I don't have a safety net, I run it. I tell her all the time, I run it loose when you're here. That's why you see so many more mistakes.
Yeah, you're overly safe when you have the boys here and it's just you
Yeah.
and them. I've seen it. You helicopter them.
It's like if you're trying to tackle a punt returner and you know the kicker's behind you, you'll go for it more than you'll be concerned. If you're the last person, and there's only you in between the getting a touchdown, you're going to play more conservative.
You are.
So if I know the kicker's behind me, I'm going to take some chances, and that's when I tell Crystal, I'm like, you see more mistakes because I know you'll be there to save me.
Well, that's not fair to her. My God.
Okay,
well,
now
I know.
that's
I didn't
what
say
we
it was
need to
fair.
do,
I'm
man.
just telling. And then so when she's not there, I play it more safe.
I mean,
because
that's what we need to do. That would be a heck of a BDM show. Is Tom and Dan
Oof.
and the kids, and it's just us, and we don't have these wives with us anymore, and we just go there and we just record, and we just have an adventure.
Well, I mean, Crystal's not.
I could rent a plane. I know how to fly planes now.
Crystal.
I could fly us to any destination we want to go to.
I'm crazy enough to get in an airplane with anybody. But again, I got offered many times to get into like airplanes with BDMs.
I got a guy
or
that wants
like-
to take me up
yeah.
right now in experimental
And the
craft.
I pause because I'm like, don't want to leave my sons. My
Bring
dad
'em
left
with
me.
you.
Yeah, you got to bring them with you. You got to do the Kobe Bryant.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God. No, he didn't. Why would you do that?
I'm fine with it.
So
Why would you take off?
there's no way in hell Andrew and Crystal let us go camping by ourselves. Even though we'd be totally fine. But I mean, people will be hungry. You'll get burned. Like
People
something-
will be hungry.
There will be
They'll
problems.
get sunburned.
Yeah. There's going to be some burning.
Oh,
and,
it's like you're on Survivor.
and some stinking. Like, like
Some
no,
stinking.
yeah. Like Tommy and Max,
Burning
they're
and
gonna be like,
stinking.
they don't want to go poop in the woods, and like I'm trying to force them to, and then like they hold it for too. Like, oh,
I don't think
like,
Maisie would poop in the woods. I've never asked her, though, to poop anywhere. Like, she'll poop at school, and she'll poop at a restaurant. I mean, she'll blow up at Olive Garden, dude.
my sons, they never have to worry about that because they
And she'll always look at me. I got to go for that one. I just sit there while she's like, I hope my mac and cheese isn't getting cold.
No, I guess they will. I've been in the airport.
Yeah,
or other places they poop.
it's just
in there.
school.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
blame them. Maybe it's gross at school.
If you're with them,
Olive Garden's actually not too bad.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to a Corporate Time. Let's do some more voicemail email.
All right, buddy. Voicemails are easy to do. Leave them via the Tom and Dan app. Super easy to find. Just go wherever apps are sold. Type in Tom and Dan, A Mediocre Time. You'll find it. All of our content's on there. You can sign up to be a BDM member and get extra shows. And when parties roll out, you'll be there. Let's try this one right here.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trav. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I was just thinking about some music videos from the 90s when I was an adolescent, and then I was wondering, what was the first music video for you guys that kind of made you feel all tingly in your private parts?
Oh my God.
I stopped him right there almost
Kenny.
perfectly. I know.
I know this one too.
I think I know.
I don't know. I don't know that I know this one. I also didn't see music videos till later because I didn't have cable until I was in high school.
I'll go first if you want.
I'm going to pull mine up. Hold on.
Because this is pre the ability to stop TV.
Right.
Like we didn't have any
Yeah,
sort of
you
box
catch
or
it when you
whatever.
catch it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on MTV, I'd always start jacking it when, as a kid,
My God.
obviously, when TLC
Waterfalls.
Waterfalls.
That sounds about AIDS.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. But there was a one particular shot where I believe it may be Left Eye. I'm not sure which one.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
But she does a dance move, and because
You
they're wearing
see
like
her,
nightgowns,
and her boob falls out of her pajama shirt.
What?
yeah, or like you see
It's T-Boz.
T-Boz. Yeah, you see her
You
boob.
see her
T-Boz
buzz.
tees?
You see her little buzz.
But no, you don't see the nipple or anything, but you just see side boob.
And then you see her boss skags.
Side boob.
Yeah. And
Waterfalls.
then
The lowdown.
And then I remember as a
You sure that wasn't creep?
a teen boy, I was very excited about that. What was that, 96? Something like that. You know.
What song was it?
I think it was "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls." It was a
Oh,
song
yeah,
they danced in their pajamas.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Waterfalls.
yeah.
The
And-
blue pajamas.
Yeah, and then I'd see it on MTV, and we may have to cut out the
1994.
The J word.
I said,
Oh, yeah.
so I just made.
That's
Oh my
fine.
God, I can't believe you said that. I'm trying to think of. I can name some that I enjoyed, but I think I may have been a little bit older. The first one that moved the needle, but there was nothing inherently sexual about it, and I had to go back and look, was I got it confused with, I said it was Boom, 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 Let's Go Back to My Room. Do you remember that song?
I mean,
But it's not, because that was sung by a man, so I was wrong on that, but that's what I thought it was. It was by Paul Lakakis. Do you know this song, Let's Go Back to My Room?
is this like some Vietnam s?
Come on, dude. This is good right here. This is the music you put on when you want to, blast it in your room while your mom's downstairs cooking goulash. You're upstairs with your girlfriend. You got on a little
Is this-
Paul Lakikas boom boom. Yeah. Hold on.
This is 1987. This is
I
the
think this,
year
yeah.
Sam was born.
That's okay.
Born in 86.
No.
But
Oh.
you were thinking of creep when they're in the silky pajamas.
Oh.
And yeah, that song's
Oh.
about creeping.
I'm a creepy. Okay.
Not I'm a creep. That's Radiohead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's so like
creep, I'm at your window.
Oh, my God. This guy's
you
the
don't
worst
know
at
I'm
music.
here. I just want to say the J word.
You're right. It was creep.
When's this guy sing? Come on, Paul.
A long intro.
Intros in the 80s. Here he goes.
Hey babe, I'd like to talk to you. How's about coming back to my room for a little boom boom?
Yeah.
You keep coming to me.
Why do I feel like I'm standing with my uncle in his mechanic shop?
No, this would never. Are you crazy?
I feel like my uncle
No,
is
you're-
showing me the music he used to like
Your reference
in his
is
office.
your-
in his
yeah,
diesel
it'd have to,
mechanic
no,
office.
it's not a diesel mechanic office. You think there's been any synth pop played in a diesel mechanic office? You're insane. You have no concept of what music goes where. There's no
I'm just
synth
trying-
pop in the garage.
I don't
That's not
know. When
allowed.
I went to
Classic
that
rock only, brother.
mechanic that Tom told me to go to, he was asking if I was into house party
Yeah,
music.
that guy just wanted
House
to get
music.
you loaded up on ecstasy and
Yeah.
and make you Kermit the Frog, if you know what I mean.
And that's a Kissimmee mechanics at different.
Yeah.
different
He was
vibe.
right, though.
different
We
genre.
gotta hear the chorus of this. Little boom boom. That's what he calls it, boom boom.
I need to see the
There
video,
it
though.
goes.
What made you horny about this?
No, this part. This part, listen. There it goes. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Boom, boom, let's go back to my room so we can do it all night and I can make you feel right. Oh, boom, 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 let's go back to my room so we can do it all
Okay.
night.
Sam,
But
back-
this video is just this guy with an open shirt dancing.
That's why I got
That
it
made you
confused.
horny?
No, I got it confused. What I was thinking of, I just wanted to play this song because
Okay.
it's ridiculous.
It's a good song. I like it.
Back in the olden times, words made you horny.
Yeah, they did. They did. That's true. You know what? He's
You
right
read
about
books
that.
and you
Shakespeare at
listened to
some point
words.
was making people horny.
Yeah.
I got it mixed up with I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany because she moved the needle.
Yes.
Another one I'd like to throw out there was In Vogue. Come on now.
Yeah.
In Vogue was TLC before right? Weren't they before TLC?
Yeah.
In Vogue? I love, man.
Or around the same time.
That
maybe.
Never Gonna Get It video. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get. They were hot, and they had those boots. That girl had boots. Her boots were so high that I think she got, I think she got chafed down there, if you know what I mean.
You know, what I'm disappointed about is that I thought when Blurred Lines came, what's his name?
Robin
Thicke.
When old Robin Thicke came out with that music video.
That guy
with
is a
Tease.
shell of a man of what he was. I mean, he's been through
What's
the...
he up
He
to
blew it,
now?
huh?
Okay, he blew it. He did the
But-
video. He stole from Marvin Gaye with
Yeah.
Pharrell. He had the giant balloons that said Robin Thicke got a big one. He did a video where the girl is the hottest girl, that Emma Ratchetatozy, whatever her name is, with the most beautiful breasts I've ever seen in my life. He's doing videos with her, right?
Yeah.
Then he cheats on his wife, obviously. Then he writes a whole new album, like Come
Dedicated
Back to Me.
to her,
He calls
yeah.
it Paula, for Christ's sake,
Yeah.
which is her name. And then
yeah.
she says, double middle fingers never coming back. And now he's on The Masked Singer. Ugh.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh my God, what a fall from grace.
What about D'Angelo? How does it feel?
Oh, my wife
now,
used to like that.
Hey, look, I'm not gay, but that's a sexy ass video.
Yeah.
My wife would get horny over that. Like,
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Who wouldn't
She'd
get horny?
look at his runner's cut.
is that what she calls it?
That's better
I call,
than
Yeah.
I call that the deep VDP.
Yeah,
yeah, DV. Oh, I didn't know that worked both ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mind blown.
Not to change total subjects, but this has a kind of about horniness. Did you see the article about Urban Meyer apologizing to the Jaguars?
It's a story.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it's like a rumor.
Yeah, where he apologized for the distraction.
He
Is that what you're talking
he
about?
apologized for his behavior and stuff, which I laughed because I can imagine a bunch of football players and they're like 22 to 26. You know what I'm saying? And I know they're professionals and they're millionaires, but still, like, they don't give a damn.
No.
They're not offended or like. I can understand the distraction and like bad press and like professionally it's not, but
I mean,
they're
it's
not
certainly what
none of them
Florida
are
football
mad.
teams do, right? Isn't it what we do in Florida?
No,
Yeah, it's fun. It's
I could imagine
par for the course here.
all the players laughed at that. You know, like they weren't offended by it,
No.
or like felt
At
personally
least
hurt.
They've probably done worse.
At least one
course.
player said, "Yeah, Urban did it."
yeah.
At least one player yelled that.
Yeah. And I just laughed, but he had to do it for the press and for how it looks. But I imagine them all laughing about it and not being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did this." Anyway,
Wow, did you hear? This just came out on The Spun by Sports Illustrated. This is breaking. It says Urban Meyer was asked if he'd consider resigning.
What'd he say? What was his response?
Yeah, he said if he is no, he said flat out no. They asked him flat out, would you resign? He's like, no.
No, he's not gonna quit over this.
Well, he's a jerk. There's no way he'd quit. Jerks don't quit. That's the one thing they don't do.
Anyway, the back to Robin Thicke. When that music video came out with the boobs, and it was easy to watch. I know it wasn't. There was probably other music videos with boobs in them, but
It was a great song. It was Perfect Storm.
But that was a super popular song that was played on the radio.
Like a song of the summer, even.
It was hugely popular, and the music video was R-rated.
It was in
right?
everything, dude. It was in like the NFL's using it, wrestling's
yeah.
using. I mean, the song was
It's
so huge.
And so I thought that this was going to usher in the R-rated or the uncensored music video a lot. It was going to make it a lot more popular, right? And it never really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure other artists had nudity in their music videos post that, but never to a song that popular, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Like,
I think you might be right on that. That might take the crown. You got to throw in some hair metal bands that had uncensored videos back in the day that I remember. You got to throw in some rappers that had uncensored videos back in the day that I remembered.
Oh, man. If you watched BET After Dark, they would show the uncensored stuff.
Sometimes they would. Yeah.
You could watch the next episode with the strippers, and they would show tease.
I remember seeing the outtakes from Snoop Dogg's porno on that. Remember when Snoop did a porno?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
didn't do
rented
a
it.
porno,
Right,
so before you
right,
start
right. He produced
freaking out,
it,
he
was there.
He was the host. He's like, for shizzle, this is, and he's just standing there, and they're in the recording studio, and then some porn star would go in like the vocal booth, and then I still remember the porn star, Anna Mall, and she did unspeakable things to this man in the vocal booth.
Snoop Dogg has had an interesting career because
He can sell anything.
he also
He's about to play the Super Bowl.
He's the Billy Mays of any product. You endorse it, it sells. And he looks cool doing it.
But also, he has somehow skirted around the cancel culture to the fact where, like, at one point in time, like, he was on trial for murder,
Correct.
right? And who knows what?
But that played
Wait,
into
I
his
don't-
character of being a gangster
on.
back
True,
then.
I don't know if it
but then he
was-
went super
Hold
like
on.
Murder was
Martha-
the case that they gave
I
him.
don't know
Martha
if it was
Stewart?
murder. I'm going to look. Oh, yes, it was. You ruined my joke.
But it's like, so there was that. I mean, like, and there's been other, like, even
He's related to gangs. Yeah.
Ray Lewis never got beyond that. Like, people still make the Ray Lewis is horrible. He had something to do with the murder.
My wife made that the other day when I was playing Madden.
But no one says that about Snoop Dogg. Also, he was into weed before it was like super trendy and like it was still considered dope, like in the 90s, and then he parlayed his entire career from like gangster rap to Martha Stewart to now
it turned pop.
Yeah, it did. But
Snoop Dogg became like playing on top 40.
But
Drop it like it's hot.
But it never came back.
You're in
and
a
be like,
Sundrop commercial.
But what about the murder and the other? And what about the porno?
He already got his cred. From working with Dre
early.
and actually being on the streets and actually selling drugs because
He's
he
a
got
crip.
in. What did he get in at 18, 19, 17, something like that? So then if you did that, like even now, he could do a Martha Stewart show, and then I swear to God, who would be the most thug or intense or hard rapper right now? I probably don't even know. So let's just take that guy. If that guy calls Snoop.
At one time, this is making me sound like old man, but it was like 50 Cent because he got shot.
Yeah, but
it was like he was considered a
Let's say
legitimate,
it could be
badass
anybody
or whatever.
right now. Whomever it is could call Snoop, get him on the record. He does it, and it will land. And people won't question it. They won't say, why are you there? You're too clean for that. No, they'll be like, oh, you got Snoop on it?
No, he's a legend.
He's respected by everybody, but also
That's
like
D-Rug's favorite rapper to this day, by the way.
he wasn't like canceled at any time. You would think like something in his past like would have come back to haunt him. Even the murder case. Now I don't even know the details
only
of
thing
that.
that I think that really people try to give him like slack for was him cheating on his wife, and even then it was like, she's cool with it. Like there's an arrangement where she's fine with it.
It seems like he just skirted all that, and people are fine, and no one. I see nobody attacking Snoop Dogg, which I'm sure.
Well, he's pretty chill. Like he gives back to the community. Like,
I know. It's
he's
just
a football coach.
But they attack everybody nowadays for something
I'm sure
they've done.
he's done some stuff that you could cancel him out. I mean,
but no one goes after him. That's what I'm saying.
But like what,
the murder.
But
but he didn't murder anyone.
Well, what was it?
Yeah, but Afro Man hasn't been canceled, and he just punches women in the face, right?
That's true.
We just pick and choose who we want to cancel.
True, that's true.
I mean,
was that on the stage or domestic violence? Was that on the stage?
It was on the stage, but still, he didn't have to
That's
do
battery.
it.
True, but
and it was a woman.
When someone gets on stage, you could run the argument that
or,
you're in fear
what's
for
his
your
face?
life.
That just got oh God, he was married to Brody Dale.
Oh, Josh Homme?
Yeah. He kicked that photographer in her face, and nobody can't. They gave him slack for like a week, and then everyone forgot about it and still praised him.
You know what? That stuff does affect me. Now, I'm not. Maybe I'm in the minority here, and you tell me what you think about this question to both of you guys. That stuff does affect me, and I am an emotional person. You guys know that I am. But when I find out somebody that, like, if I like their music, Josh Homme, whatever you,
however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it's Homme, but.
Eagles of Death
when
Metal?
I found out how many times this guy has been like really violent and nasty
towards
to like,
women and children.
Yeah, women, children, listeners of his, people that love his music.
People just trying to do their job.
I'm like, this guy's like it just seems like he has a mental problem, a drinking problem, right? So I look at this guy and I'm like, I don't like that guy as much anymore, and it does affect me.
It sucks.
I don't think many people are like that. I think most people
they can separate artist and art.
I can't. I'm not really good at doing that.
I was at the playground the other day.
Whoa, hold on.
Would you kick a kid in the face?
You know what? Maybe we should go to break. I don't know.
And
it feels like there's a confession going on.
One of the kids at the playground started singing like "I Believe I Could Fly," so like R. Kelly song, and I was just like.
I'm surprised kids even know that song. Did they play it in the new Space Jam or something?
No, not in the new one, but they played in the old one.
They don't play it in the new Space Jam.
I'm
But Bugs
surprised
Bunny,
kids know that.
But Bugs Bunny does pee on the Tasmanian Devil.
They're in the YouTube videos and stuff like my son. They'll like every once in a while they'll reference like "I Believe I Could Fly," just that song or whatever. But that is still prevalent in current young kid pop culture around.
Can we?
And it makes me laugh.
Can we get okay? I think that is a good song. I'm just taking the song. Just hear me out.
Yeah. Listen, I don't give a damn.
Should we take songs that are iconic and go, yo, that's a good song.
This one gets a pass?
We got to have somebody else record it. And then you find the best singer, and he's doing something for the country. Like you're doing a service. So You take somebody like, I'm trying to think of somebody who's like got a great voice right now that we could just, hey.
It's still R. Kelly's song, though, right? Like, or does it matter of the person performing
It is his song, but I'm saying
But
we
it's
just
like,
got to.
without him, like, it's a good song.
We got to give you a good version that he's not singing it so you can, this is, he wrote it when his mind was good. He wasn't, doing the bad stuff.
It seemed like there was a time, and it happened around the R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, like a lot of stuff like that, where there was the question in our society of whether or not we should still enjoy the music of monsters, you know what I'm saying? Like, of horrible people.
Yes.
And it was like I feel like everybody leaned to the side of like, it's fine, right? It seemed like that no one had a hard no on no Michael Jackson, no R. Kelly anymore. Like, it seems like as a society.
No, there were people that I knew that
like,
were
we don't want to support
never listen to that Michael Jackson again.
Right.
Well,
even to this day. Yeah.
I mean, there are extremists and like people that will make that statement.
By the way, the guy that said that I just said that was an Asian professor.
That doesn't seem like it's a thing. Like listening to R. Kelly's music or anybody else's that had some sort of thing happen to them. It doesn't seem like people get on other people for doing that.
No, they do. They
do?
definitely do.
Is it the internet thing? Because like I've never seen it in person or someone like, oh, you shouldn't play that or.
When are you around anyone that plays music? You always want to give
birthday
examples
parties?
about you personally know. Yeah, birthday parties. I think like kids' birthday parties.
I was
They're not
at-
going to play Michael Jackson.
I was at the skating rink and they played Michael Jackson, like at the Casimir skating
Yeah,
rink.
they played
you know,
Beat It
like-
and stuff.
Yeah, and I think they played like
Billie Jean still gets spun.
Yeah. So it's like it's not.
Yeah,
I mean,
public spaces will still play it,
Yeah.
but like people are uppity about.
I think
They can't separate art and artist, and they're like, "Oh my God, you listen to that pedophile?"
No,
or,
there is
or
a
whatever.
there is a good portion of time that I'm going through right now where like one of Maisie's.
A lot of people don't listen to Chris Brown because of what he did to Rihanna.
I don't. Maisie's listening to the Jackson 5 right now and dancing to ABC. That's allowed, right?
Well, that was before
Listening to
all the
what?
stuff.
Like the
yeah.
Jackson 5, ABC. She's doing a dance
yeah.
to that. Yeah, he's a
Well,
kid, right? That's fine. That's
by
fine.
the way, you're asking a person that doesn't care about any of it.
Right.
Like,
I know.
He'll listen to it all.
I
don't
will
really
play it.
either.
Who cares?
I guess I do pick and choose. Like Michael Jackson, I know I pick and choose. Michael Jackson, I'll listen to Michael Jackson. R. Kelly, I probably am affected by what happened and not as likely to seek it out.
Also,
but
the fact that he like picked victims at his shows, that kind of creeps it all out for me.
Oh, he's
so,
a
like, and
horrible
some of his
monster.
lyrics,
He's a
you're like,
monster.
He's a
"Ugh."
predator,
Yeah,
monster,
yeah.
horrible person. I just don't, I guess, care enough to turn off his music if it happened to pop on. Now, seeking it out
Now, if
and
Contagious comes on, I
Yeah,
might
it's like-
sit and listen to
I'm
it.
just not gonna be like running over and be like, oh, not listening to that. It's just a non. I'm like, yeah.
But the Isley
Yeah,
Brothers,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, come on.
unfortunately, we don't control
Other people's actions.
intelligent people doing bad things because intelligent people are probably capable enough to write an amazing song. They're also capable enough to do horrible things.
Same with like movies, right?
Yeah.
Actors, directors, like
Yeah.
Woody Allen.
You
you know,
throw
or we can't.
Weinstein in there and you got no movies left.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like then you're
What
not
are you
watching
watching? I
anything.
can't watch nothing.
Can't watch anything. Kevin Spacey's been all. There's so
Oh,
many people
Hold
that
on,
have
the
done
Kevin
messed up
Spacey
stuff.
one, I'll die on the hill because those Thanksgiving him
Those
cleaning
were
the turkey
so creepy.
videos. That guy, he
Yeah.
needs to walk off a cruise ship. That guy creeps me out, man.
Yeah, same.
Kevin Spacey, I'm saying
He's a great villain.
out of anybody. He's a real villain, is what I feel like.
Yeah.
It comes off so authentic.
Yeah.
When he does that
That's
he's
really
playing
him.
that president character. He's cleaning the turkey and washing his hands. Google it, throw it on the YouTube. It's the scariest, craziest thing you'll ever see.
You know who I feel the worst for out of all this, even more than his victims, is the hockey team that adopted Kevin Spacey as their unofficial mascot.
I remember
I would
this.
do the
Yeah.
shirts
Oh, yeah.
because it was such a fun
An innocent,
promotion.
fun thing to do.
Right.
That their fans loved, and then when that Kevin Spacey, they're like, "Oh God, he ruined it. We can't
Yeah.
like they can't ever do it again." And it was such a fun, like goofy, kitschy promotion that they had, and it
Hey.
was like, what,
I got to tell you something crazy.
what,
She's got it now. She earned her superpowers.
what?
We've had them for a while. She can now tell time without looking at the time. She looked at me and said, "Hey, put up the time." I put up the time. It was exactly 20. She's got it.
We got 4 more minutes though.
got
we
it.
went light in the first.
But you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
You can feel how long we're going. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, and you know that hockey team had a whole room, a promo room full of those t-shirts.
What do they do with those?
And
now?
bobbleheads.
They have to throw them away.
Send
They
them to
can't.
Nigeria.
Yeah, I don't even think they do that because someone would find out they sent. You know what I'm saying? Like
And,
they
man,
can't. They have to
Nigerian kids got
burn 'em.
standards. They don't want those crappy shirts and some crappy man. I don't want that. I wouldn't wear that. Send me anything other than a Kevin Spacey shirt.
It is that weird thing where it's like
I'd rather
you
go
don't want to
shirtless.
support like terrible people, but it's almost like we're running out of people, right?
No, we're not running out of people. We think we're running out of people.
It's just like every other day there's a new scandal of someone being a POS, and you're like, well, don't want to watch that anymore. Don't want to listen to this anymore. But it's like at some point you find out something messed up about everybody.
Yeah. Well, just like how far do you want to go down that
Right.
rabbit hole, and like what is considered a egregious enough offense for you to never
Crossing the
support? You know what I'm saying?
line,
Like it starts getting to the point. Like obviously we have the rape, the murders, like
Right.
the horrible stuff, but then you get into the lighter stuff. It's a spectrum, right? It's like then you get into the Louis C.K. like you know you start.
I don't even know how to quantify that.
You know,
one.
doing things, and then I'm sure it gets to a point where there's like pretty bad. So where you start like, hey, that's pretty bad. You're like, I'm tired.
I just want to listen to "I Believe I Can Fly."
I don't even care. I'm just yeah, exactly. Anyway, so basically, all the movies that had R. Kelly's music in there, like a Space Jam, you just have to, because they still sell Space Jam and so
you cut it out. You got to cut it out.
They
That
they
was
haven't.
the theme song for that song.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie,
they
though.
can't cut it out.
You got to leave it in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just everybody just all
Don't
right.
we have technology that's good enough to like to go in and is he in the movie, R. Kelly? Is he in the original Space Jam?
No, but
No.
I think in his music video for "I Believe I Can Fly," I think Bugs might have showed up.
Bug? Oh,
Bugs
Bugs Bunny.
Bunny.
Oh, I thought you meant like Bugs.
They try to scrape that off the internet.
Has anybody talked to Bugs Bunny about what he feels about knowing this man? And look, we'll interview Bill
1950s?
Gates about Bill Gates is down there with Weinstein or what's his name? Not Weinstein, the
'Cause-
other guy.
Epstein.
Epstein.
If I
one
know-
of the Steens. You got Bill Gates doing
All
that. We got to
Steens.
interview Bugs was hanging out, then we got to cancel Bugs.
If I know 1950s Bugs Bunny with a big Raiden hat and buck teeth, if you ask that Bugs Bunny,
He's
you don't-
fine with it.
He's
Well,
totally fine.
he was blinded by the war effort. You got to remember that, right? I kind of feel like he was all in on America, and maybe he said now he would say he was misguided.
Yeah. If you ask the Bugs Bunny that would shoot Elmer Fudd and he turned into
in the face?
a horrible
Black stereotype?
Yeah,
Yeah.
black stereotype with bones and that
Oh,
kind of thing.
yeah. Plaits. They're called plaits.
He's fine with it.
Plaits in their hair. Yeah, that's lovely.
And like, but
Speaking of nudity in music videos, I have a whole Wikipedia of music videos that have nudity in them. There's quite a bit, by the way.
What's the most
Fiesta by R. Kelly has 3 nude models in it.
no.
Fiesta.
Oh, what time?
Fiesta, Fiesta.
There used to be a
Remember that
website
song?
Tom and I like called Fiesta. Then.
So what else? What other videos? But nothing as. Was there anything as like as
Some
much
of these
a
I don't even know.
commercial success as Blurred Lines?
That I think you're gonna win this one because that's got to be the.
So I
Wheeler
guess
Walker
it's
Jr. did one that had Playboy models in it with their breast out. I know
Eminem's
that.
Superman had porn star Gina Lynn in it, nude apparently. I'm sure it was blurred.
But it blur. Yeah.
Well, they blurred it. They blurred lines on MTV. They weren't showing T's.
I know.
You
but,
could find
but you
it.
could,
You could find the
Yeah,
real
yeah,
one
yeah.
on like Vivo
Yeah.
or what, Vino or whatever.
But they like filmed it so it'd be uncensored, and then they played the censored one instead of vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eminem one, like that one. There's no footage of that one uncensored.
I think
anywhere.
Lady
Meatloaf.
Gaga's Love Game. She's nude on a beach with 2 men in their underwear.
Oh,
I think Meatloaf shows his boobs in, what is it, Paradise by the Dashboard Light?
Mm-hmm.
speaking of nude, I saw the SNL performance by
Casey
Musgraves, and it wasn't obvious enough
No.
that she was nude.
No.
So you could have
They were
missed
being
it.
real careful.
But if
I missed it the first time. I
if
thought
that-
she just was in like a black leotard or something.
if that's your performance, don't you want to make it obvious that that is your
No,
performance?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm also gonna think that maybe on this one that she didn't have the call
I think it was meant to be subtle.
Because to me, and I know it's all art, I'll never understand, it's all subjective, but it's like, if you're going to do that, I mean, it's a stunt, let's say. I mean, that's ballsy to be performed nude at
She literally
SNL.
did mimic the thing from Forrest Gump, by the way. Yeah.
That's what I read. Yeah, her inspiration was Jenny, and she didn't do the headband. She just wanted to do,
the nude with the guitar. Yeah. I'm just saying, when
she didn't do the boots.
Crystal didn't even know when I said,
I didn't
told
even
her,
the first time.
Yeah, and I'm like, she could have been wearing a tiny dress and like a low-cut dress, and it would look the same. I'm just saying, don't you want to make it obvious so people know that
you're right.
what you're
she
doing?
should have spread her legs.
No, I'm not talking about. There was just a side shot where you could tell that she's actually nude.
Oh, so you mean like a quick one, just to be like, kind of like you're establishing in a magic trick.
Well, if you're doing something, like if you're performing a stunt, like let the audience know how far it is. That's why Evel Knievel put buses or cars so that audience can have a reference of how long it is.
It's your idea of having the normal fat dad run next to the sprinter.
Well,
you need some comparison here so I know what you're doing.
But yeah,
why is this so remarkable?
If you're going to go for it, which she did, and perform nude on SNL, which I think is the first time ever, right? Like did
probably, yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Maybe she wanted a slow burn Casey Musgrave pun.
Like, or maybe it was planned out so people would like slowly leak it, like she was new. I don't know. It just seems like if you're gonna do it, let everybody know that's what you're doing.
I agree with you because I missed it the first time. When I watched it, like I had to go back because when I got through with it, I was like, "Oh, that was really good. She sounded good." And then when I looked at the top of the clip, see, I hit play on the clip. When I looked at the top of the clip, it said Casey Musgrave's nude performance SNL, and I go, "Oh." Well, let me go back.
Yeah,
and then
it wasn't obvious enough.
Okay, she is nude.
Yeah, it needs to be so we can appreciate the balls.
Obvious
to do
nudity,
that.
people. Come on.
Well, because then without that, everybody just watches and I'm like, oh, okay. The fact that she's nude is impressive. Does someone have the balls to do it?
You got to speak up for yourself. That's why I tell people when I donate to charity, I scream it into people's faces so they know what I've done to be awesome.
All right, bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The Fisher here. We're on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We are self-proclaimed Orlando's strongest stream. You can check out our live stream Monday through Friday, right around from 10:30. I'm gonna say until 3:30 or 4. We record every single day. Search for Tom and Dan Live on Twitch. Also on YouTube, Tom and Dan Live.
Also, if you want to be a BDM, sign up at tomanddan.com. There is a love meter. You could sign up for $1.95 a month.
You can put a little extra money in our pockets if you want to.
Goes up by
or
increments.
not.
Yeah, of $1. But once you're a BDM, you get access to all the BDM groups. Our main BDM Facebook group, which is all BDMs only, and then all the subgroups, including the CBE group, if you're into craft beer, and they're putting on a beer pong tournament at Hourglass on October 16th. I know Butler's going to be out there. They got some big prizes. CBE has some giveaways for all their members that participate. Plus, we're going to have the Hourglass Tom and Dan pint glass that you can get for free out there. If you order a beer, just ask for the beer in a Tom and Dan Hourglass pint glass.
Indeed.
And you can take it home with you. So check that out, October 16th. Let's talk about Indigenous people.
Today's Indigenous Peoples Day.
We're
taking it back from Columbus.
What are our indigenous peoples of North America?
Well, all the Native American tribes that lived here.
Unfortunately,
Cherokee,
what
which
kind
I
of
thought
sucks
I was.
is you don't get to see much of that. You know, like we live in Florida, which I'm going to say is pretty darn, Native American. I don't get to see any. It would be cool to go to like a traditional Seminole settlement and learn some stuff, right? That would be cool.
I mean,
no?
Not cool because I think if you like learning,
I do like.
You don't like learning?
Well, that's the opposite of cool.
Okay.
That's right.
Wow.
I mean, there is
liking
a little truth
learning
to that.
is not cool.
There's a little
right?
truth to that. Teachers try to get it to be like, and school is cool because it rhymes. That's not true.
But down in the Everglades, you'll see, like if you're driving from Miami to Naples, like on 8th Street or whatever, Tamiami Trail. You'll see.
I want to see Tamiami's Naples.
You'll see the Miccosukee tribe. See, the first you'll go past the giant Miccosukee casino there, and then once you get into the Everglades, you'll start seeing like they've got little. I think villages, but like little communities where there's like housing, and then there's like a school, and like it'll just be
that's cool
for Miccosukee Indians. And then I know like near Tallahassee, there's a different.
If you go to FloridaRambler.com, there's
What's a Seminole?
tons of historic Florida Native American getaways. And
Can I roll through as a Florida guy who wants to learn more about Florida with my family? Mm-hmm. And in order to honor Indigenous People Day correctly, can I roll through on a weekend and like camp and learn or no? Is that like a thing?
I think there are some places you can do that. I'd have to do some more research on that.
That would be, you don't think that'd be like a cool adventure, or the boys wouldn't like staying in like maybe a primitive dwelling, building a fire, like that kind of.
I want all racist stereotype. Like I want to stay in a teepee, smoke a peace pipe. Okay. I want like a wooden Indian.
You guys already slept in teepees, right?
No, we did.
No, we did not for the teepee. Teepee was a fancy one.
This guy wouldn't let us do it. The business department.
Too much money.
The business. It was like an extra $600, and the business department was
a night.
Like, no, a night for both. Or for each, I mean.
Yeah, it's too expensive. Anyway, so then when you get into like the indigenous people of Canada, they're just.
I watched a show about this, and with an E, they dealt with a lot of these horrible.
Can you say Eskimo? I don't think you can.
I don't think you can anymore, but they had these schools that they would send the indigenous people in Canada to, and it was vile.
Yeah.
It was terrible, man. A lot of the kids. In fact, the main story in this particular show my wife and I were watching is this little girl has to escape one of these horrible schools where they're trying to westernize her and they're whipping her, and she's like, I got to get back to my family. So she escapes and goes back to her village.
So.
Yeah, the Inuits.
How, if you're, there's very few indigenous people left still living like they did, right? Like there's some people in the Amazon rainforest that still and they're protected as far as
you mean that aren't within society?
Yeah, they're
like the holdouts. I like that.
There's
there's reservations everywhere in North America.
No. I'm talking about still living in the jungle.
Okay.
You mean like that one island that one guy who wanted to convert them to Christianity tried to go there to preach them the good word, and he got killed by spears. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about I saw this documentary on Netflix, I believe, where they were showing and highlighting the few tribes that are still out there that are 100% untouched or that don't have any sort of influence by current day society.
Okay.
And it's becoming less and less. And then there's the people that are kind of hybrids that still live basically like they did 200 years ago. Or 500, whatever, for forever. But they have clothes and they have some creature.
Can we talk
comforts.
about that for a second?
What?
When I worked on that Seminole Indian reservation, I know exactly what you're talking about. In the term, I'll use your term. You said hybrid people, where they're a little bit modern, but then they're also living on the reservation, so they
kind of like Amish people.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what I would be, because there's nothing that's more a conundrum in your mind than looking at a human who. The bottom of them, they're wearing a pair of Dockers, and then the top of them, they're wearing a full intricate bone chest piece with a head adornment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You would see or a person that would have on the feathered cuffs or ornamental cuffs on their feet, but then have on a polo shirt. It was weird.
The problem being is that if you lived your entire life and all your generations, you lived just to survive, right? And that's what you have to do when you live off the land. If you build a community and stuff, it becomes easier, and you got groups of people hunting and gathering, and then and then storing. You built a system, but it's still sketchy. And anytime you could die if something goes wrong or the food storage gets lost. There's a lot of things that could happen that could kill you, right?
Sure.
Living just off the land with no modern technology whatsoever, right?
Yes.
And so you become so used to doing whatever it takes to survive and getting as much food as you can, and then all of a sudden you have people that are coming into your environment that have unlimited food and clothes and weapons and all. How do you give up the temptation of just taking their or like accepting their help or their free stuff or like migrating into the easier society.
Well,
you'd have to purposely.
I wouldn't. I would migrate into society because that's what I would want. I bet that's
your
very
whole life-
difficult.
Yeah, your whole life has been lived to survive.
Sure.
And this is the easier way, so why wouldn't you do that? But the rest of us are like, no, like you're the last people living like the ancient people
Well, I
did.
think
Like keep doing that, and they're like, well, why the hell would I do that?
Well, I also think indigenous people,
Right?
though, I also think there would be a stereotype where the indigenous people would have more tradition. You know, like I don't have a ton of tradition. I've talked about this before, you know, like where I've sold things that people would be like, why didn't you hold on to that? That was your, you know, it was belonged in your family. I'm like, but I don't believe in that. Like, I'm not, you know, like, so to me, like I think they were raised to value the elders, the writings, the teachings, the culture, and respect the history of it.
True, but I think in this documentary they also highlighted the fact that because they're like the people that are right on the cusp that are still
This
living.
sounds interesting. When did you watch this?
I don't
Sounds
know.
good.
There's a bunch of them on. Like you could. There's a bunch of documentaries about these type of people. I think there's only like a couple different tribes that even exist.
Yeah.
But they don't like the documentarian.
Was it the Brazilian tribe that you were
It
watching?
may have been, but they highlighted a fact that they had some sort of rudimentary paper or some way to draw, right? And then they were drawing on stuff, and then immediately like destroying it or not, like because taking stuff or like keeping things like that, mementos or whatever, it wasn't a part of their life because they were constantly moving. And holding on to anything that was unnecessary to your survival was pointless.
So it wasn't
and
about the finished product. It was about the act of even drawing it in the first place was their way of sharing their art.
Yes, and then
That's
and
interesting.
then that's it. They get rid of it, and they get rid of anything. Like nothing was sentimental.
Because they're nomadic. That's
because they had to
crazy.
continue to move. So, and the only thing they really had, they would have the quintessential elder that would remember and retell the stories all the time. Like it was,
And would the
you know,
drawing, like, was the drawing a representation of the story? And so it was almost like entertainment, right?
But you never held on to it.
Right.
Like
That's cool.
You didn't hold on to anything because it was pointless and it could hinder your survival if you're trying to move from one place to another. It was just like everything was about survival. And dude, if you see like how hard it actually is just to survive off the land with nothing else and no modern technology, is like, man, that's rough ass living.
I mean, I wouldn't know how to do it.
Like even if you go back to like the 1900s, the late 1800s, like when we had, somewhat of we had a pretty good society built up by then. Like back then it was hard, like no penicillin, like people were dying all over the place, like everybody was dying. Like there was very little chances that you'd make it to an old age because there's so many different things that could constantly kill you, infections and all these things, your teeth.
And we already found out that you and Sam are both non-Native Americans, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
according to what did we do? Was it Ancestry? I think it was Ancestry.
You know what?
right?
Isn't that the second tier? I feel like we're gonna have to go 23andMe to really get definitive facts on
Me
this.
too, because I don't trust it.
You shouldn't. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, no.
I look at Samantha.
My
and
dad,
I think,
though.
oh,
I look at your
obviously.
boys and I'm like, no.
Yeah, but my dad did have, and my sister has a little bit of like I don't look like anything in my family. So I'm.
You know what Max?
Anyway.
You know what Max looks like? A young Sig from Deadliest Catch. The Nordic guy, he's like Norwegian, and he's the king of the fishermen. Like it's in his blood. He's the Norseman, and your son looks like a young Sig, like blonde hair, blowing in the breeze. Like
He does like pain pills.
He looks like Greg Norman. No, I don't think. I think he's straight and narrow. I think he's just grumpy, but like Greg Norman. The great white shark. He got that, like that guy's hair. He's 150 years old. His hair is bright blonde, not white, blonde.
Yeah, the naturally blonde people are weird to me. Like your hair never turned brown. Weird.
Yeah, how does that work?
Crystal's sister's like that.
Yeah,
like, she
it's
is
weird.
naturally blonde.
I'm getting like mine was like bright white, and then it slowly got brown, and now it's brown, and now I'm starting to get grays.
Yeah, my boys are already slowly turning brown.
I can't see it. Their skin? Yeah, that's weird.
No,
I've
their
never
hair.
seen.
No, their
Oh,
hair.
I was gonna say that's weird. You
Well,
should stop
because-
rubbing them with that Soul Man lotion.
Oh,
He's been
man.
rubbing them with Soul Man lotion.
Yeah, like you'll be cooler this way.
How did that movie get made? Soul Man.
I don't know.
I remember thinking that was an awesome movie.
different time.
Yeah, like you put on the self tanner, and then that lady in that one chapter of the NAACP did it, right? Remember?
Oh,
That
yeah,
white
yeah,
lady,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
like
yeah.
putting self tanner on, and she curled her hair. She's like, "Look, I'm black," and everybody's like, "No,
Oh,
you're
God.
not."
You know, that was
No,
the
you're
thing
not.
that I thought that more people, like, they may, because the joke was
She's on Cameo, I think.
we were going to get to a point where that would be
Look it up.
acceptable.
Who? What was her name? Rachel something,
Yeah,
right?
she's on Cameo. I
Oh, people
guarantee
do it as
it.
a joke. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'll
Like,
get her and Rudy Giuliani for
Rachel
my dad.
Dolezal.
Yeah. By the way,
The world is nuts.
probably really mad that Dave Chappelle added her name to one of his bits on Netflix because it'll live forever
now.
which people would have definitely forgot her name
Yeah.
by now. If
You
it
want
wasn't for
things
that.
to go away.
Yeah.
Damn it, you're right.
Is she on Cameo?
Yeah.
I only remember
$50.
the dumb stuff. Let's get it for
Ooh,
Butler. Let's get one for
Or
Butler.
or 150 for business.
What does that mean?
Oh,
What is it? She
what is
show me
that?
her butt or something? What
Book
is-
for a marketing campaign or big event.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's get her to advertise all of our events. People will love it.
She's still at it, dude. She still has her hair perm. She's still
Let's get her to
tan
do
and crazy.
to
No,
do-
she is.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Read the room. I mean, the world. We don't want you to do that. Be
this-
yourself.
No, hold on. This is what,
What do
she's
her
famous
kids
for.
look like?
You're wrong on this. This is what she's famous
No,
for.
I'm not saying for-
I don't want to get a cameo from a white.
I understand that.
Dolezal, whatever it is. What's her-
Dodo's all. You're right.
Hey, if I ordered you to do a cameo as the Grinch, you put on the
Yeah.
goddamn green makeup.
Yeah.
All right, I see.
I want her with the full, like,
I love you,
tanner
buddy, and I mean that when
and
I
the
say it.
extensions and the accent. I want that.
want
If I
full
want my camera
appropriation.
when she's reading our commercial for Sofa and Suds.
Who's paying me? Email Mike Smith.
Oh
my
for
God, that's
150
funny.
bucks.
$50 just for her to say like "Happy Birthday, Dan" or something like that.
She's got really good reviews.
Well, I mean, on the surface, I don't know if like talking to her, she would be a horrible or unpleasant person, but there is something inherently
really
wrong
thinks this, you know,
with
like-
herself, right? I mean, there's a mental problem there, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it goes into an area where you don't want to talk about it because you can start going down any slippery
Well, then
slope
it goes down
of
one
like
of those roads of if you were born a woman and you think you're a
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
if you're born a white,
that
and you
was
think
the
you're black. and I'm
Remember,
like,
I remember at the time
"Oh."
the radio was full of those arguments
Yeah.
of like you got the bubble.
By the
love
way, I'm
sponge.
not making that argument. I don't care. I just want
Yeah.
you to be happy. But
Yeah. Well, they didn't want her to be happy because society and the world, and that's what the thing. The world will tell you.
she's
and
pretty
the
happy
world,
on Cameo.
The world's like, no, this we won't let you do this, or at least we won't celebrate this.
Now,
I
wait
mean,
a
you can do
minute.
whatever you want.
There
but-
is a documentary about her.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there was.
I didn't know that. I'll watch that.
Dude, there's a documentary about us. So I think there's a
You know
documentary
what?
about anything.
You know what? When you said that, I was about to say, no, there isn't.
There's a documentary about everything.
I saw a lot of people. That must have gotten some juice because I saw a couple people hit me up on Twitter last
The
night.
Rachel Divide.
And they said they were watching it. You know what I'm watching right now? Not to change subjects, but dude, I watched this last night. I tell you, I know you're a fan of the documentaries, but I found the one that I think is one of my favorites, The Way Down.
What is that?
It's a docuseries on HBO.
You've watched it, right?
Yeah, I finished it a couple days ago.
Yeah, I got two more. I just did the first one, but it's about this lady who started. She's the one that started the Way Down workshop where, and I think I remember this. If it wasn't at my church, it may have been at a sister church because I know I've seen these pamphlets before.
Tell me about this.
But it is a diet basically where it is fully involved with you. No Firehouse Subs pun there. I apologize for saying fully involved and making you hungry.
How dare you?
It is all about your connection to God. And if your connection with God is good enough, and if you're a slave to Him, you won't be a slave to the refrigerator, I
That's
believe
right.
is the tagline.
So, what is
When you think
the
about
hook?
eating, then fall to your knees and pray to God
Yep,
instead
you
of
just-
eating.
Yep, you just got to fall. Now,
You basically
So-
starve yourself.
so it's like
you're
a
asking
religious
me-
diet.
now- and I said
That's
to my,
part of it,
And I
yeah.
said to my wife, and maybe this wasn't the nicest thing to say, but I said to my wife as we were both watching it in our old folks' bed, we had it up in 0G, so we had our legs up, and I had the back fully up, and my reading glasses on as I was watching this. And I looked at my wife, and the lady, this zealot on TV, is basically saying the only times you eat are when your stomach makes an audible
Yes.
growl, right? And I looked at her and I said, that might work for you. Not a good thing. Not even as a
No.
joke. It's just not a good thing to say. So I'm
That's
just
funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. But that's what she says. See, you wait for an audible growl before you eat. Then you can eat as much as you want until you're satisfied. You only eat when you're hungry, and you only eat to be satisfied. That's it.
So, I mean, there's been tons of people with diet programs
Just
that
like
maybe
this.
extreme or whatever. I mean,
They go through all
it's
the
not
God
really that-
diets. There's tons of God diets.
Yeah. So, what was about would this become super popular, or was it a cult?
It is a
Yes.
cult, 100%. And without giving you any secrets, I'll say that she had, I believe, the perfect storm of what these zealots or these prophets need, and she was extremely charismatic, and was a great talker.
Oh yeah. You have to have that. That's the base. If
But
you don't
To
have
be
that,
a cult leader, you gotta be a great talker.
But unlike any other cult leader, she's really in a class of her own, or maybe there's one other lady or two other ladies in being a lady. Like this is extremely odd to have a woman of faith have this much power, this much influence, and be this high level.
Yeah.
That just typically doesn't happen. She was breaking the mold. Very intelligent lady.
Also, well, it's pretty smart because there are a
Some
lot of
say
people.
though, you watched that Heaven's Gate one, right, Dan?
Yes, I enjoyed that.
And the lady in that was basically the leader. And
Oh,
then, you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But
Joe
she let the
and-
guy kind of be the face of it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. And they lump her in there too, but I guess because it's a duo and that one
Yeah.
guy, being the. I wanted to talk about. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Not to throw this in here because it's disgusting, but have you heard about these Facebook groups all across North America? It's like a voluntary castration
No.
club
What
you
is
can
it?
join. There are these groups, and there was a trial, I guess, like maybe 3 weeks ago, of a guy that's being put on trial for performing one of these like non-medical, because he's not a doctor.
Yeah, castration?
Yeah, castrations. It's like a thing where these people become obsessed with getting castrated, and they go in these Facebook groups. They join the group, and then they do whatever they got to do to go to some cabin and just make it happen.
Now, explain to me castration real quick, because you can just.
I honestly don't know much about it.
Well, I was gonna say like
You can leave what's in there, can't you?
Well, that
And just cut the
I got
highway?
I got a vasectomy, and that's what they do, right? They just take the vas deferens, they just cut your vas deferens, so then nothing can make the transfer.
For effective purposes,
sperm
the
can
bridge
go.
is out.
Yeah. And so you could do the same thing with testosterone, because that's essentially what you're just doing, is you're cutting the testosterone out of your system, right? Because that's where testosterone is made, in our testicle area, right? Or am I wrong about that?
I don't have a penis. I don't know.
I don't know nothing
somebody
about
in the
nothing.
Twitch chat room, that's what I'm trying to read, is saying they put bull bands, I guess the same way you would
Oh,
castrate.
that is
a
Well, can't you-
barbaric.
Well, can't you just cut the tubes and then leave? Like
maybe
you don't.
it's-
You have to take the whole
Castration
plums?
itself is the plums, and some can even involve
Oh,
the
man,
the
I'm getting-
stick,
I-
the
I'm-
stick and plums.
Stop. I'm getting a little.
Well, that's a whole.
Well, that's a eunuch, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a different
yeah,
animal.
That's
yeah.
what they used to do back in the day.
well,
To
that's
castrate
I'm
people.
gonna pass out.
well,
It can be the term can be used for both the plums and the stick and plums.
because
Stick
you.
and plums is horrible.
I remember there was a time you you could chemically castrate someone.
What if we make Dan pass out right now? Who's gonna go to
Man,
break?
I do not like
because
this.
the whole point is just to get rid of the testosterone. Like, because that's what that's why
Correct.
it changes your behavior. That's what castration, like the point of it. Like, that's why they in the Game of Thrones they castrate the slaves, so they had no testosterone. I guess
Could also be to not procreate, right?
well, yeah, I guess. Well, if you took the vas deferens off,
I don't know why these guys do it. That's really why I wanted to talk about it. Is
to
it
affect your mentality, because testosterone will drive your behavior to a certain extent, right? Drive your sexual
so
drive.
maybe these guys have issues and they want that are negatively impacting their lives, and they're being castrated
addiction or something?
in a way to try
Or-
and tune themselves down a little
Well,
bit.
even if you're super religious, the fact that you have lust or fantasy or whatever, this considered probably. I mean, if you're crazy,
Right.
that's the devil, or that's the devil trying to put. It's like to stop that. If you cut your testosterone, that'll stop it. You know what I'm saying?
We got to look up the story though, because the guy went
But
on
will
trial.
it stop it? Like, it's not. Is it only my testosterone that makes my sexual drive?
That's an excellent question.
I believe so. Your libido.
I would imagine it would be a combination, because your mind is completely in control of everything, and that's just a chemical
yeah.
that's released to affect how your mind feels, right? Or sensations throughout your body. Your mind is controlling what you feel
Well,
throughout your body.
Because hold on, if you make you transition to a woman, you still have a sexual drive and you have no
You do.
testosterone anymore. So That what is?
I like Tom's like. I like how Tom's like
Stupid.
So if you
Turn
get
into a goose, a Canada goose.
You get a vasectomy. You still have a sexual.
So what? I mean, besides just taking your testicles, I mean,
Please.
that. So if it doesn't stop your sexual drive, but I guess it will affect your mood and your temperament, right?
If it
You
affects
won't-
your drive, I've seen you nude. You got a baby driver.
Like,
Hey.
because the increased testosterone will make you like angrier or like more horny, more like I guess.
It says if castration does diminish the sex drive.
Okay, so it just
Because
knocks
it does,
down.
but
not totally
the
eliminate.
testicles are no longer present to produce the testosterone.
You know what? I'm gonna make a Dan Dennis guarantee, and I've only done this 4 times. If you castrated me, I'd be exactly the same. There's no stopping my sex drive. It's impossibly. It's,
I don't know.
It's literally set in stone. It's cast in stone.
That testosterone is
it's
a drug,
rock
dude.
It's as rock solid as Jamie Lannister's golden hand. It cannot be. It's literally there. It cannot be taken away. It cannot be created nor destroyed.
I don't know, and
It can't be stopped. If I'm
10 years, it's gonna be less.
I'll give you one. I was so doubled up with stomach pain 2 days ago. Still got at it. I had to do it. Every stroke was pain. I'm like, I feel like, had to do it. I couldn't stop. And Andrea's like, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, I can't. I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
Yeah. Calm down there. I have to do it.
Uh-oh.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.